go, yo.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we ready.
Hey, peace, people.
Peace.
What's going on? All right.
Let him do this.
Welcome to another Eye Opener joint. A lot of interesting things. All right. Today we have Brother Bobby Hemmitt with a lecture called Modern Black Magic.
Wow.
Traveling the Cosmic Stairway to the Soul. It's going to be a hot one. And before we get into it, what we're going to do first is the libation. And I'm going to make a couple of announcements before we go there. And we also, at Eye Opener, have a surprise speaker that's going to open up for Bobby. So first, we have Kalindi E. July 10th, 2005. He's going to do DMT and melanin. Also, the African origins of martial arts.
Oh, man.
That's going to be a hot one. We also going to have Dr. Michael Frost, July 24th.
What? Oh, what you say?
Yes, July 24th. Michael Frost.
Jump off.
That's the hit. That's the. Woo. He's doing a lecture and a workshop. That's going to be something.
Right.
And we're going to do Atiba King. We have him. We don't have a date yet. It's going to be a Sunday in August. Now, for dates, what you want to do is get on this Eye Opener mail list. What you can do is see me to get on the list, give me your email, or you can send an email to eyeopenerproductions@hotmail.com. Send it, you'll be sending it to me, I'll put you on the list, and you get all the hot information, what's coming up. We don't have dates yet, we're getting Francis Crest Westland, Francis Crest
It's supposed
Westland.
to be June, July, but now it's going to be August.
It's going to be August, okay? And we're going to get
Dr. Richard King.
Richard King. All right, so it's going down. So first thing we're going to do now, like I said, we have a surprise opener. We're going to bring on Bobby Hemmitt. What he's going to do is pour the libation. He's going to do a libation, bring some real black power up in this piece. So without further ado, we're going to bring Bobby Hemmitt to give up the libation. Bring some energy in here, and then we're going to give it back to me. We're going to introduce the next surprise lecturer, and then we're going to do Modern Black Magic, Traveling the Cosmic Stairway to the Soul. All right, peace.
Peace. Good job. Yeah, who's that intro guy?
Okay, brothers and sisters, glad to be back here in New York, second home. Gonna bring this surprise opener up, the introduction piece, and he's gonna lead us into my lecture. And what we're gonna also do is he's gonna come to you, but I'm just gonna enter the name into libation. And he's gonna come to you, and he's gonna give you some information based on an entity that came to him just the other day ago, and he'll go into that whole information. So what we're going to do, we're going to go in order. We will do the goddess Erzuli first, because that is the one that is the one, Erzula Izuli, you know her as the voodoo goddess, and that is the one who basically came recently to me and had me to draw a new symbol for her. She said, "This is personally mine." She told me, "No, this is personally yours," because I was going to give it out and draw a new symbol for her. But it's a new resurgence of the return of the goddess Venus, or in this case, Izuli from the voodoo aspect. So we're going to give the shout out to her first. Then the second entity will be the one that came, the brother that we're going to bring on after he introduced, and he'll go into that. And then the third, as usual, is going to be Lakshmi, because she is also the aspect of Izuli. And then we also have, Heru or whatever. We give the shout out to these particular goddesses. We're going to also give a shout out to this little particular entity here that came when I was at East West Bookstore, and I looked down and he said, "Buy me." And I'm going to go into some history of him. It's a monkey god called Hanuman. monkey god called Hanuman and stuff. He's a very great protector also. You know, and I'm gonna do my infomercial right now and all because shit is tight as usual. So what's new?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been a pauper for goddamn near since I got in this shit. So you want a career into lecturing and stuff? You see what I'm saying? Have you a philanthropist? Or have you somebody backing you up, a cake daddy, steak mama, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Go live in your mama's house. You know what I'm saying? Your mama's house and stuff like that, you know. And because you know how that goes. It ain't gonna be a trip down luxury lane. The good part about it here is, no joking aside, on my infomercial right now, the pictures that you see, other than the two right here, are all for sale. But the good part about it here is, the good part about one of these particular pictures is it's not just some stuff that I randomly just went in some books and got out. These all came based on the spirits. Hey, take this, take that, take this. Because if anybody knew me for the last, I've been doing this since June of 1992. So that's 13 years. And I've been in this thing for 15, 16 years. But I've been lecturing June of 92, about 13 years. And all of the 90s, nobody knew me selling nothing. You know what I'm saying? Knew me, shit. Hell, we was letting niggas in for $5 back then. You know, and then go home and eat a damn Snicker bar. So this thing with these is because the spirits bring you these, and I'll be going through these because they're rare, like that black Buddha there that they don't want you to see with the peppercorn hair.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's rare. So that book cost me $200, rare book. No, close, and that black Madonna and child that they don't want you to see with them hips, and you see them hips. You see what I'm saying? You know that that's a black woman. Mm-hmm. See, that was so. When I saw the sister Tyra on the video, I said, well, good, she coming with the hips. Mm-hmm. You see, she's shooting from the lips and the hips. So that's a good part and stuff, but that's the black Madonna and child right there.
Yes.
You see, they don't want you to see that because that's found over in a little small museum in France. Little small museum in France and stuff. And these pictures are worth 1,000 words. This is a picture of the goddess Kali. And these particular ones are Lakshmi, you know, brings the prosperity. This is and so this one, and that one is all coming from, these three are coming from that rare museum in France. A rare museum in France that France has the big museum, the Louvre. Then there's a rare museum in France. I know I'm supposed to be pouring libation, but I have to go with what the Spirit says. So when you get in when anything comes off course, that's when you know the Spirit is working. You see, not just rigid, do this, do this, do this. So once the stuff goes off course, you start improvising. That's the way the Spirit is setting it up. And these days, that's how things have to go. But this rare museum in France, we'll be going back into this, is where I had to find this. So this particular Lakshmi here, I've been selling since October, which is an artist rendering. I didn't get the real picture, and both of them had energy. I didn't get the real picture until I had to go and get this book from France that had these three pictures. The Lakshmi, goddess of wealth and fortune, and this particular one in the middle here is a rare picture of Mayat with Anubis and Raheru Kahudi on each side. It's a rare picture. It's coming from King Tut's sarcophagus, which is very key now because the King Tut thing, we're going to go in that. That's a very key moment now because that particular sarcophagus and all that is now back here in America, in LA. City of Angels, the last outpost of the West. Very key. We're going to go into this particular aspect. It's not my mistake that's in the West, in LA, that's not no mistake, that the Michael Jackson trial is going on at the same time that King Tut exhibit is opening. Everything is connected. So this is a rare piece coming from King Tut's sarcophagus that you can't get anywhere because the book might cost $400 or $500. And I got it back in '96 and the white boys didn't know what they were selling me. So I got it for, real cheap. They didn't know what it was. So we'll be dealing with that. The goddess Izuli, this is her symbol, Urzuli, of the voodoo goddess, is arisen at this particular time of the goddess Venus and all of this. That's her symbol. In the middle, you can't see it until you come up close. That's a picture in the middle of the goddess Ganesha. Ganesha is the elephant god that you see, elephant-faced god that you see in India. He's a goddess of the protection of the home and also a guide. Also, this is the goddess Durga, which is a warrior aspect of Kali, which has a lot to do with the tsunami that went down. Very key, powerful aspect that you might want to deal with and align yourself to that feminine energy. And this is the goddess Kali, which everybody wants Kali as her co-pilot, because she would be equivalent of the most terrible one, and you would want that on your side. You know, you wouldn't want to go get Mickey Mouse to guard you, or the Pillsbury Doughboy. You want some real deal shit. You see what I'm saying? You see. And, we'll be dealing with this as the yantra, which, in so many words, this yantra up here, when you stare into it, it lines up DNA and all types of cells. And so that's one of the things in all this particular, it's called the yantra. You got the Mandela in Tibet, and that's the later version, but the other ones is the yantra, but the Sri yantra is the most powerful one. So these particular things. Down here is a picture of the Baphomet that comes from H. Geiger. H. Geiger is the guy who did the work for the movie Aliens in 89, 79, and later on Species 10 years ago in 95. H. Geiger, this is his Baphomet. There's a bigger version of this, but this is one of the panels of a smaller version of the Baphomet and stuff. You can see, like I said, these things will come together when we put when you come up to see them. Okay, other things is you want to align in your house is temples. This is the temple of Dendera, which is the temple of Het Heru. Each year, sometime in July or August, around the rising of Sirius, they marry this temple of Het Heru a half hour to the temple of Edfu Horus. So these temples have a sacred marriage every summer, which is also representing the marriage of the male and the female, the yin and the yang, the Shakti energy, the lingam and the yani. So this is very key. This is the front piece of Dendera that you see, the Champs-Élysées. You see all of what they call a colonnade that all the Europeans copied. This is the original one from the front piece of Dendera that's still standing. That's still standing. And the walkway, this is the original colonnade leading into this particular temple of Dendera. And this is, the oldest zodiac known to man in the temple, in the ceiling of Dendera, which is the zodiac of Dendera, which the concept of God is a female goddess, the hippopotamus goddess, Apep, Tyr. Oldest, 90,000 years, this particular thing. We'll go back into this, and last but not least, this is the temple of Angkor Wat in Cambodia. We'll be showing slides and stuff, which it's 36 miles long. It takes up 2 Manhattans, one temple. One temple that's the size of 2 Manhattans, 36 to 37 miles long. You see, the temple of Angkor Wat, which means Ankh Har lives. It means Ankh. It says Ankh and Har. Angkor Wat, which means the god Horus, Heru lives, or the god Horus lives, in Vietnam. What's an Egyptian god in Vietnam? But when I show some of these pictures, and you'll see, I'm going to show you some pictures of some Egyptians, but they're not going to be Camite, they're going to be Vietnamese. You see what I'm saying? And then you understand why the Vietnam War went on. You see, so we have these now. Don't fool yourself. Each last one of these pictures, people have been buying these things on the road, and they've been having all types of experiences with the temples and with the goddesses and all of this type of thing. So I'm not just bringing you something, you see, bringing you something that's going to just line up to be just a pretty picture. Nothing that we did in the ancient world was based on pretty pictures. You see, they all have some type of spiritual thing. To give you an example, this is Napoleonic Egypt book that I got about maybe 17, 18 years ago. And I was working at our friends on the college campus. I was working at this friend that sold hamburgers, chicken, and all this shit to the students. And like I said before, he got me there as a former clientele because I was a student there and I knew everybody, and he got me there working. And basically, I didn't really do anything but just call out numbers. Hey, come get your shit. And that was my job. And then hobnob with the customers. We get in these heated debates, and we got and a lot of the art of debate, I learned that later on would be the part of lecturing. Came. Okay, cut the discos off. You see, and came. A lot of the art of debate came from being in this thing and this heated discussions we used to have at this particular store. To make a long story short, that was my job. To hobnob with the people for a certain clientele that he wanted up in there with the students that I knew and pass out the food and give them their shit and call out the number. That was my job. So, and he paid me under the table and I made a whole lot of money. That's how I was able to buy the books, no taxes taken out. And I would go and spend tons and tons of money on these books. Okay, in the summer, right before I started to lecture, I think right after I did my first lecture, nigga gonna try to get cheap one day. Because very few people come up in this thing. So I fucked around and cooked a burger for myself one day and cooked him one, and he found out I could cook. And he said, oh, you make a good short order cook. I said, you better not go there. So anyway, the motherfucker put me on the grill for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So Wednesday evening, I left the stove. The motherfucking stove was burning down. The motherfucker caught on fire. You see what I'm saying? Because shit, I was slinging grease every damn well, and that grease caught on fire. I said, shit, you ain't had no business putting a nigga up on the grill. That wasn't my job description. I ain't no short order cook. But you could cook so good. But I was slinging that grease every damn way, and that grease got caught in the... And so anyway, the motherfucking back of the stove burned up. The fire department came in and out, and the school season was out, but earlier that year, I had put up these posters. A grand procession of these particular posters of pictures of the Egyptian temples. Temple of Dendera, Temple of Hathor. I had several other ones. The entire back of the store was burnt up. All the paper, all the wood, and there was nothing but charcoal. And they called me and said, yo, you got to come see this. These pictures was laying on top of the wall. The wall was burnt up behind the pictures, and the pictures was laying on the fucking wall. He said, we baffled. He said, my fucking business license and everything burned up right beside the pictures, but the pictures didn't burn up. And I knew then that the pictures had energy to them. You see what I'm saying? They had energy to them. And that's how things happen spiritually. I just want to say that now, you know, that's how we roll. But anyway, let's go into some libations. And we get the guests to come up and do the opening ceremonies. Especially on this particular entity that came through. There's a lot of those particular entities coming through, and different things that's happening at that particular time. So we'll go into this. So let's light the candles, I guess. Anybody got a cigarette lighter? There you go. There you go. Okay. Light the candle. And do this. Don't try this at home, y'all. Don't try this at home. Boys and girls. All right. Okay. All right. The name of the lecture is what? Modern Black Magic, Traveling Through the Cosmic Stairway of the Soul. I also want to say that I had the opportunity to speak to Dr. York's Nuwabians at a seminar. Very interesting shit went down.
It's crazy. How you doing?
Very interesting stuff went down. But the tape became one of the best tapes because I had to really go there, explain this stuff. But a lot of stuff went down. Had a whole seminar of Dr. York's Nuwabians down in Atlanta, home base, you know, that Eatonton thing. And so I did one on March 24th. Hot ass tape, so y'all might want to pick that up and see what transpired and stuff like that. You know, but it was, you know, hey, we'll go back into that. So let me get this thing going. Ready? The Apollo wine, the Apollo liquor, And a brother called me from Baltimore and said, man, this shit is healing him up. The elixir, you know, healing him up. So it's, you know, and he had some real shit, some real magic on him. I think his grandmama threw some shit on, some roots on him. Oh, that roots is real. You best believe that. You know, Christians say, I don't believe in it. I'm dying every damn day from some shit. All right, now, we're going to give a shout out. We're going to give a shout out to Michael Jackson. And I know he, you know, he got on my nerves too. But anybody that the white man hate, you see what I'm saying? We should support anything the enemy opposes and oppose anything the enemy supports. You know, so they say they're trying to, you know, he got an all-white jury, and I guess they said he'd be tried by your peers, and by him being white, he got an all-white jury. But all you got to do to understand our essence with him is to put on some fucking Off the Wall or some Thriller. You see what I'm saying? Right. And then you know and say, now that's our connection with him. Personally, you know what I'm saying? They say you're supposed to take the messenger, not the messenger. And not the message and not the messenger. That's you see what I'm saying? So my thing is, he cut up his nose, he do all that kind of thing, and yes, it is, you know, a disgrace or whatever, but our connection with him, you see what I'm saying, is some fucking ABC. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? The love you save. That's right. You know, hell, I know niggas that's in their 40s and 50s say shit. They grew up on Michael Jackson. You see, because they was either in junior high school or high school or graduating high schools, and them boys started early. See what I'm saying? So you got to look at that type of thing and look at the spirit aspect. All the other stuff, well, he didn't fuck no white children, so what? They've been screwing our children for years. Get Goodbye Uncle Tom movie. Brother here said it and see what they was doing. You see what I'm saying? You know, and all this kind of thing here. But my point here is, you got to look at the aspect. You know, we know my man is sick and all kind of thing like that, but what nigga ain't sick? You know what I'm saying? I know some niggas in Atlanta kill each other over 4 cents. Grown men in their 30s kill each other over 4 pennies. You know what I'm saying? You know, so we're going to give a shout out to Michael Jackson. Send him some energy. You see what I'm saying? Win or lose, we win. We'll go into that. We're going to send him some energy. You know what I'm saying? And I think most people saying, how ridiculous to damn champion Michael Jackson. But it is in the most ridiculous that you find the most sublime. We'll go into that type of thing. It's just like on the Matrix movie where they say, that's never been done before. And he turned around and Neo said, that's exactly why it's going to work. Right. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to give a shout out to that type of thing. We're going to put the energy, even if he loses, we still win. We're going to go into that. You see, because they have to stoop that low. You see. Now, whether he screwed some boys or not, we knew he didn't screw no damn cancer patient that had 2 weeks to live. And it's been 3 damn years and the motherfucker getting stronger each day. So let's do that. Now it's interesting here because the brother made the comment on that was some bullshit when it came to spitting the whatchamacallit, and we got a new tape. You got some of them for sale too? How many you got?
I got a bunch of them out there.
There's a new tape. You seen that Voodoo documentary?
Secrets.
Voodoo Secrets.
And
well, we put that on tape, but we put an hour of the Voodoo Secrets on tape. We put an hour of a slave revolt in St. John Island where they killed I think it's St. John's or St. Thomas Island where they killed a bunch of white folks. And we put an hour of the Zulu Wars where they killed the British. And we put an hour of the history of Isaac Hayes that they did this dynamite. Isaac Hayes and Shaft, some dynamite stuff. You move on over that way a little bit. Yeah, right, here you go. It's this dynamite. You got to get this tape. But all through the tape, they was doing what? Because I told them, I said, I didn't invent this. This is what the homie Africans, the voodoo, the Yoruba, everybody spit the spirits. You see what I'm saying? So it's on the tape. And it's a dynamite tape. And so like I said, I just sit there and fast forward and get all this stuff off the History Channel. Now I don't take the fucking commercials out. So just fast forward it past the commercials. I can't do every damn thing. You know what I'm saying? But don't just get caught up in like you're watching a regular TV show and say, damn, I can't wait till this commercial go off. Just fast forward it because it is a tape. You see, but it's bad. So let me take me a little libation. It's hyped. And let's do this. Y'all all right? So the first one we're going to do it is Zeta Kuma. That's it right. Ashe. And Izuli. Ashe. Or Izuli. Ashe. Lakshmi. Ashe. Heru. Ashe. Aset. Ashe. Let's see. Kali. Ashe. Durga. Ashe. The Buddha. Ashe. Ganesha. Shiva. Pravati. Vishnu. Ashe. Hanuman. Ashe. That's this little monkey God right here and stuff like this and stuff. And he's a form of Tahuti to Tho. I'll give you a picture of him right quick. But let me just do this thing here because I'm taking up other people's valuable time. But then again, on the other hand, if I take up his time, that just means less time I got. You see what I'm saying and all? But you know, ain't never enough time. But I wanna say this while well hell I'll do it in my lecture. But I just want to introduce you to him because I was up at East West Bookstore the other day and he was right down in the corner. He was right down in the corner, and he was right down in the little glass, and I said, "Oh shit, give me that." I said, "Give me that." This is the god Hanuman. We're going to talk about him today. A monkey god Hanuman that assisted Rama. The book you want to get is the Ramayana. We got the Mahabharata is one of our epics. The Ramayana is one of our epics. He assists Rama, a blue skin god, who Vishnu is his avatar, and he's the incarnation of Vishnu, and he's going and hooks up with him to get his wife back, Sita, who was abducted, which is the incarnation of Lakshmi. So this is the brother right here, and that's him on this little tape, but I want to show you a picture of him and stuff. And there's a reason why there's two people sitting in his heart. We're going to go into that type of thing. But we'll just do this while we do the libation. Y'all all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Krishna, Radha, Balarama, Arandi, Tanit, Malet, Belet, Akama, Anana, Astarte, Aphrodite, Ashura, Anet, Babelo, Baba Yaga, Osa, Ase, Heru, Pata, Sekmet, Maya, Sashet, Nebher, Canoe, Hopi, Bastet, Bess, Butchers, Yadun, Imhotep, Amutis, Baba Yaga, Melosine, Malectos, Awas, Obas, Ibas, Nakumpa, Umbelinga, Umkulakulu, Cthulhu, Cthulhu, Shibnigra, Hastar, Yoksato, Agathos, Hotep, Azazel, Samaza, Stephanie, Demeter, Hecate, Sophia, Gaia, Kundalini, Hermanu, Athene, Metronet. This is going to be a good one today. Yeah. We gonna bust a nut. Day. Mut, Rabbit, Medusa, Hermaphrodite, Diana, Psyche, Malcolm, Vina, Septrono, Thou, Melanion, Atalanta, Aresticu, Echidna, Minerva, Gargan, Melusine, Yambalawedo, Adawedo, Sylvie, Urzuli, Bridget, Baron Samadhi. It's gonna be a powerful one. We got the people up in here. You got motherfuckers throwing my shit in the trash can in Harlem and taking down all the flyers in Harlem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
All this kind of bullshit and all, you know. Like Brooklyn is a motherfucking other state. I ain't gonna go to Brooklyn, I can't go to Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Like they got to mortgage the damn house. Or like they're traveling by stagecoach. A wagon train to get to fucking Brooklyn. Pan, Dionysus, Tammuz, Adonis, Baal, El, Mim, Nemusis, Melectos, Chrysalis, Chrysosos, Pegasus, Yama, Agostema, Metatron, Nagar, Mamu, Kulakulu, Nakumba, Umbelinga, Umbaba, Uwawa, Kengu, Kengu, Labu, Laamu, Labado, Bacchus, Banes, Cupid, Eros, Hippocrates, Baby Krishna, Baby Buddha. Okay, these Native American spirits. Connect with your Native American spirits because that's very key. you go down to, like Barnes and Nobles and Borders and a couple other places, they got books that you can go and get, and it'd be like Encyclopedia of Native American Spirits. That's very key. I think that if you go on the internet, and these are all the Native American, Central America, South America, North America of the goddesses. So we're going to connect with that also, because they ain't up but just niggas. You know how that goes. Central America, Mama Shula, Mama Pasha, Koshika, Coco Mama, which is cool. That's what that movie Chocolate was about. The cacao or the cocoa. Anybody saw the movie Chocolate? Oh, yeah. And in there, if you look real close, when she's stocking her store, it's 2 black men in France stocking her store. And they talk about that damn cocoa. You see what I'm saying? Or that chocolate. You see, that's the black woman shit right there. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's just like the sweet sperm. You see what I'm saying? You know. So but that's, you know, that's your shit. You know, I turn this around and all. If this is a picture of Lakshmi and Vishnu, and it turns this way, I guess it'd be close to my heart. And it's the same as the 2 entities that Rama and Sita, which is Vishnu and Lakshmi on the heart chakra and shit. And I've had this on me since January, and I just figured this out the other week ago. So yeah. Loa, Telashio, this is Central America. Axiel, Costa Rica, Santio, Genoita, Astanama, Alatan, Maka, Estanadui, Shukanazat, that's North America. Okay, few more. Okay. Oticha, Tiacha, Sheola, Shumala, Omagumu, Alcala, Locayo, Kakombo, Labado, Luigi, Atama, Orawado, Kowa, Ogawaji, Leowa, Godugo, Biwasta, Amatise, Wudagate, Ishta, Monu, Noku, Mana, Titi, Joba, Inmatu. Hold on. Let's see if it's Lalila, Owalensu, Exantis, Kasimbo, Nisaba, Isala, Apilukea, Pazuzu, Lusba, Anumaresh. That's your name? That's see, everybody got a secret name and stuff like that. Anumaresh. And also you can I got these readings I'm doing now that you got to get. This shit is dynamite. It's like 30 minutes on one side on your name, and another 30 minutes on your zodiac, and it's talking about your numerical shit coming out of ancient Kemet. We covered this particular ancient art of numerical value, and it is unbelievable. And I'm doing this shit, so you hell, every day you get Bobby to do some shit. You know, that's by default, because I'm lazy as a motherfucker. So if you got me doing some reading, you know you got some very spiritual shit. You know what I'm saying? Very spiritual stuff. You got me doing a doggone reading and stuff, you know. Shit. Punching a clock. So this shit, man, changing people's lives, because it goes into some stuff. You got to get this reading. Now, I did one for some people before, but I want you to do this because I want you to do this one again. I did some the last time and people got it, but this one is even more powerful because it's an hour long and it's on cassette. Now, I'm putting them on cassette now. You hear my voice, and you can get to put it in your subconscious mind, a mantra for your subconscious mind. And man, it is unbelievable and stuff. So everybody, most readings are $50. Mine is $40 to $45. I always kind of undercut some shit because I don't want to line up on that $50 level, because you know what I'm saying, I get somebody else's energy. So mine is $45. I get the cassette. Get with me during the break and sign up for this shit. I'm telling you, I just did Baltimore, Maryland, and I did Philadelphia, and the motherfuckers are going crazy. So you got to get this reading. It's unbelievable, because the spirit comes through. That's key. Okay, Babylonia, Aya, Elolek, Dracula, Notorio, Mona, Netsu, Litu, El Halo, Pele, Fumo, Zarabanda, Madre de Agua, Mama Shola, Madre de la Luna, Francisco Siete Reyes, La Espiritu de Tranquilos, La Santísima Muerte, La Santísima Pedra Eamon, San Simón, El Cristo Negro, El Cristo Rey, Fumo, Brigida, Segun, Keku, Haniel, Tarek, Dagan, Hanai, Arun, Adama, Josharis, Artemis. Few more now, just a few more. Ma'atek boat, Sektek boat, Sekar boat, Hindu boat, Haris boat, Aturti, Hin, Ab boat, boat, Hebu boat, Set boat, Heru boat, Antu boat, Newt boat, Osiris boat, Aset boat, Sario, Uriel, Medusa, a few more, just a few more. Bazuma, Shimtu, Taiti, Tati, Shintatati, Pazuma that's a few more. These they come through. Urzuli, Ransamadi, Bridget, Papagate, Wade, Azuli Bumba, Azuli Kita, Azuli Petro Azuli, Rada Azuli, Congo, Dambalawedo, Edowedo, Simdi, Cabalillo, Mandadangi, Conga, Bumba, Kita, TGPP, TGZ, Miss Charlotte, Dalacinium, Sutan, Shaitan, Awas, Baphomet, Ba, Na, Ka, Nut, Haddock, Rahar, Hewitt. And I guess that's gonna do it for right now. We're gonna bring the brother Panic back up here. And don't get up. The man's name means panic. Now you gotta understand the spirit world. That's what his motherfucking name means. It means panic. So if you feel panicky around him, that's what the God is supposed to do. That's what he's supposed to do. Panic. You see, so you gotta listen real close. When motherfucker tell you his name is Panic, you got to accept what the shit is, or you just get the hell out the way. Motherfucker come and say, my name is Panic, you should be scratching your head in the beginning. Goddamn. What motherfucker gonna call himself Panic and just gonna look like Pope John Paul or some bullshit? Hanneman. That's Hanneman. Give a shout out to Hanneman. And stuff. So you know what I'm saying? That's what his name is.
Black Power.
Panhead
Black Power. All right. Black Power done came down now, huh? All right, as promised, libations. I feel the energy in it. I'm shaking. All right, so as promised, this brother's here. We got a surprise speaker. He's eye-opener Midwest. So make no mistake, he's family, and he's here in New York, where he's welcome. All the time, anytime, make no mistake about it. So we got coming now, Brother Rude Rock. Here we go.
What's up? Chaos, niggas. Chaos. Hotel. Glad to be back again. A lot of spiritual shit been going down, man. I'm telling you, there's a lot of spiritual shit going on right now. Shabazz asked me to come up. I didn't know for sure if I was gonna come, and I said, I try to ask the spirits. I say, well, if I'm supposed to be here, then it'll be a way, cause I was low on cash and shit. So, but spirit made a way for me to be here. So I want to give it up to the primordial force of the great mother goddess, which is the primal rim, which is the rim we're getting ready to go back into in a few minutes. So a lot of strange shit been going down, and the reason why I had to come here is because some particular spirit was trying to get in contact with me, so we can be able to get some more power and juice on the scene at this particular time. And the spirit tried to come to me, and for some particular reason I couldn't get all the energy or the name and everything that I needed. But a brother in New York was trying to contact me through the spirit realm. So I was getting all these weird dreams and shit where this entity was coming to me. It was like, I'm a new entity and you gotta tell the people about me. So when spirit made a way for me to get here, and I got here, and as soon as I got here Thursday night, and then we got out, went to the table Friday, and the brother came up and said, I've been trying to contact you, man, and I'm supposed to give you some information. And it's key right here now, because what's going on is it's a lot of the melanin is lining up right now. These particular particles in the melanin is lining up, and these are creating these new entities, because we got to get the new shit to come on. So the brother came up to me, and the brother was like, well, I got to give you this information. I was told to give you this information. I've been trying to reach you. And he came and gave me this information about a new goddess. And the new goddess name is Zeta Kuma. It was interesting because the brother, he just didn't come with the name. He came with the picture. He came with the mantras. He had a couple of mantras with it. He came with the sigil. He came with everything. And I knew it was spiritual. And I called the sister because when the brother came up to me, before I called the sister, the brother came up to me, and when he gave me the entity's name, he told me that the entity is a newer god, and she is another aspect of Kali, and we're going to that too. But she's another aspect of Kali, the great mother Kali, and that she's the thundering goddess. And in the dream that I had about a couple weeks ago, the dream that I had, the entity that came to me was telling me that I'm a thundering goddess. You know what I'm saying? So when he got in contact with me, I automatically got on the phone. I got a spiritual sister out in Chicago, and she does a lot of readings and spiritual stuff for me. And I got another sister who I just met, a spiritual sister out in South Carolina. And she got into it. So the one sister I got in contact with out in Chicago, she told me that she gave me all the aspects of this energy. So she even went into, she did the tarot reading, got the spirit and everything. And I knew it was on point because when I called the other sister in South Carolina, she came up with the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So when she got the same thing, I said, okay, damn. So I told the sister, I say, look, I had to give her all the aspects of this goddess, and I had to give her all the information that the brother gave me. So I forgot to give her one of the another particular thing that was supposed to go on a picture. And so when I called her this morning to tell her about it, she said, I already put that on the picture. So it was very spiritual. It was very spiritual. We also got in contact with another sister in Atlanta, Sister Kimberly. And then when I asked her about the goddess, and the goddess was smiling. Make no mistakes about it. This information I'm about to give you about this goddess is only for motherfuckers that's on the dark side. That's my shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't aligned up with that shit, then don't fuck with it. Because this ain't about fence straddling and all the other shit. It's all about one particular aspect of this shit. Either going this way or you going that way. You can't be this way and this way because you'll get yourself fucked up in the shit. I'm telling you like it is. I'm telling you like it is. One thing about the goddess, she's a trickster goddess. So she has so many aspects, and I'm gonna break all this shit down to you today. She has so many aspects, it's unbelievable. Meaning that she's another form, an aspect of Tahuti and all that too. So she has the Kali aspect, and then she has the Tahuti aspect. The sister in South Carolina gave me some information where she even broke this shit down into the Kabbalistic and the Hebrew letters and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And she broke this shit down into the Kabbalistic and the Hebrew letters and all this shit, and went out and searched for some more information, and it's interesting what this shit is because it's all lining up with the energy that I've been telling you since I've been coming to New York. The last couple times I came with the energy of the great mother goddess, and that's the primal realm that we gotta be into. Like I said, it's not about this and that, and straddling this way and straddling that way. I'm talking about going back into the primal realm of things. For you niggas that want to stay here, then stay in this motherfucker. But regardless to whom or what, we getting the fuck out. That's why this shit is coming online right now. And it's interesting because I know brother Bobby Hemmitt, he's been getting this shit going on, and a couple other people around the country, a lot of shit coming on. So it's a lot of alchemical shit. Don't take this as a joke, like it's something that's some bullshit. It's alchemical, and this is the reason why they come in. And the spirit gave to me the reason why. What it is it's a lot of the melanin that's lining up. It's the essence in the melanin that's lining up so much into so many degrees because they know it's like a diamond. And it's interesting. One of the symbols that the brother gave me on his deity, he said that she has 16 arms, and she had a diamond staff. So I found that very interesting. And we all know that as far as a form of alchemy is the making of diamonds. You know what I'm saying? A form of alchemy is making of diamond through the carbon melanin of the coals. You know what I'm saying? So it was interesting that this brother gave it to me, but back to what the sister was giving to me as far as breaking this name down in the spiritual aspect of things, she went into the Kabbalistic and the Hebrew shit, and she even broke the name down even farther and went and got some more information. So I had to line all this. I wanted to make sure that I lined this shit up the right way. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to make sure everything was lined up so I can get the full aspect and the full understanding of what's going on. And so the entity's name is Zeta Kuma. Zeta Kuma. The brother gave me the mantra and everything for this entity, and the mantra was Zeta Kuma Loma Loma. Zeta Kuma Loma Loma. He even had me out there on the motherfucking streets I'm sitting at the motherfucking table trying to hold it down to sell motherfucking tapes, and this nigga had me out there, sit in the chair, do the mantra. I said, man, don't you see all these motherfuckers where I'm trying to say these people come walking up to the table? Sit your motherfucking ass down. You know what I'm saying? So we bonded real quick. Me and the brothers, like, we knew each other. I had never met the brother before, but he knew me through a couple of tapes that I had out. So it was like we knew each other instantly. So it was like my brother talking to me like, sit your motherfucking ass down. So anyway, going into the aspect of the Zeta, we came to in the Hebrew alphabet, we came up with, the sister broke down some stuff with the Zayn. And I'll go into what that means. Then also with the Kuma, it's a draconian carrot. It's actually a draconian carrot dealing with the double star. Remember the double star. So this is the draconian. So we going back into when she broke it down, I knew it was on point. So we going into the draconian current, which is the aspect of the Great Mother. You know what I'm saying? So when she broke that down to me, and she told me also that it dealt with the double. And when the brother, going back to the brother said with her 16 arms, she carries 2 double axes. The double axe. She had 2 double axes, which dealing with the 7. Now I know a lot of brothers in here, and for years I've been thinking that the 7 was the God aspect, but in reality, according to a lot of stuff that I've studied in the esoteric and the occult, actually the 7 is the number of the goddess. And the 7 is actually dealing with the Babylon. Babylon, and I go into a little of this information on a new tape I got out here called Al-Kim Gateway to the Chaos Realm. Everybody picked that up. But going to Babylon, which is really the gate of the gods, which is another aspect of us going into another realm. You know what I'm saying? So we're dealing with the double. Then we're going back into the ancient Kim, because you all had the duel of Set and Horus, or Osiris and Horus, when they're actually one God. Their bodies are connected, one facing this way and the other facing this way, dealing with the double. So one is the shadow realm, which is the primal aspect of the realm, which we are the source of, or we're the essence of. And the other one is this realm. But this realm is only, the one that's in this realm is only the fighter to get back to this primordial self. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to the double, which is also, like I told everybody before, also aspects of the Great Mother. We got to get this down because it's too much shit going on with the suppression of the feminine energy and the degradation of the Great Mother Goddess. And none of us are never going to ever get what we are spiritually with all that man bullshit, all that male bullshit, and a bashing of the feminine energy. I'm going to tell you that right motherfucking now. And it's a reason why Babylon, or Babylonia, was called the Great Whore. she has become a habitation of devils. Now I know a lot of brothers that's into the religious aspect talking about Babylon. She has become a habitation of devils. Only thing that means is all alchemical. And these are all elements of this particular chaotic melanin lining up a certain way. You understand where I'm coming from? So Babylon, in reality, means the gate of the gods. And what is that gate? The gate is the yoni. Why is she called a whore? Because, not because she's promiscuous, because she fucks without religious dogma, without all this religious dogma and moralistic shit. And the thing what I want to get into about that is this. Most people don't understand. If you don't understand certain shit, you just don't understand it. You need to understand, you need to try to understand it. If you don't understand it, don't judge it and try to fucking put it down. Last time I was here, I talked about the information on a lot of information on the sex cults and the alchemy of the orgies. Now, if you don't understand that, then you just don't understand it. It has nothing to do with the savage behavior as black people, as we have been that we adapted in America. It has everything to do with alchemical. Now, you still relying yourself up like in the religious dogma and shit. You feel where I'm coming from? It's religious dogma. That's why you can't get out of this shit. Is because you lining up with some type of particular laws and shit like that. That's how we got entrapped in this shit. The ancients say the human body is a prison house. Make no bones about it. The most ancient cults, the Typhonian cults, even one that has been forgotten, the Nubian cults, which is also Typhonian. The ancient cults all lined themselves up in a pre-dynastic aspect. They said that this shit was a prison house. That's right. You know what I'm saying? And so we got locked down into a particular prison warden, and the energy got locked down, and now you living up under some particular laws and moral dogma, and the reason why you can't elevate to the next motherfucking level is because you stuck. So if you don't understand the shit, then go get some books on it. Every time I do a motherfucking tape, every time I do a lecture, I give you bibliography, I give you information where you can go get the shit what I'm talking about. So you ain't gotta fucking believe what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm giving you the information. If I say this shit, if I'm talking about sexual alchemy, and we talking about the great mother goddess, who is the greatest of them all, and we talking about Babylon, and she is the greatest of them all, the great mother goddess. And if she is considered the whore, and everybody got here as a result of fucking, then what the fuck is wrong with that? The aspect, even if I say, you act like dicks and pussies are foreign shit. You feel where the fuck I'm coming from? You feel like it's like dicks and pussies is foreign shit to you. You know what I'm saying? But I want to show this shit and make no bones about it. That Lord Rudra Notorio showed the shit. So make no bones about it when I show it. I mentioned this. Let me drop this shit down. I'm tripping.
Upside down.
Let me see something. Okay. Let me see something. Yeah. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
All right. Now this is coming from the temple Caravaggio, Rodolphe, and these are in India. So make no bones about it that these are the Indus Kush people from the Kushite Empire out of Africa. Okay?
That's right.
These are clearly black people. If you see any of the pictures Brother Bobby got up on the wall, if you look at any of these pictures, you see that all the Hindu shit and all that shit is black. And I mentioned before about the Kundalini goddess and what this goddess did and what the energy of this goddess is. As you can see right here, you got a sister bent over Now this is on some temple walls. So I didn't make this shit up.
There it is.
Sisters on the temple walls. You got 4 brothers behind her lined up, and you got another brother right here lined up. Now some say, damn, well, the reason why this is going on is because it's not moral dogma involved in this shit. That shit only came after all these religions. And if you lining yourself up, you saying you conscious now, and you lining your shit up into consciousness, but you still lining your shit up like you a Muslim or you a Christian. You still lining your shit up like you a Muslim or a Christian, so the moral dogma still stay intact, so you really haven't even fucking changed. You really ain't fucking changed. You still got the same thought pattern as you had when that cracker cracked that first whip on your motherfucking back. You still got it when he smacked you with the motherfucking Bible. And when them Arabs invaded Africa and smacked them with them Qurans and shit. You see what I'm saying? And this is the problem here. But make no bones about it. I didn't fucking carve that shit. And I can tell you what book you can get it from. And there's several books you can get it from. So nobody can't say that I didn't give them the information. Ecstasy Through Tantra, a book by John Mumford, where he does excellent information on tantra sex and sexual alchemy and things of that nature. You got that, Baz?
Yeah, bro.
Alright, where he goes through different aspects of tantra and things of that nature. When he shows all this stuff that come from India and things of that nature. But these are all spiritual systems. So if this is a spiritual system that we had before we got smacked with Bibles and Qurans and moral dogma, and you still lining your shit up like a Christian, then you ain't really motherfucking changing. You haven't evolved yet. So I just want to make that shit clear. I just want to make it clear. If you don't understand, go get more information about what the fuck I'm talking about.
That's right.
And I don't give a fuck. I can go battle for battle with a motherfucker. That's my thing. I love it. You know what I'm saying? We can go toe to toe with the information. That's my thing. If I say something, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Just like when the brother came to me and gave me the information on the entity, I called 3 motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I didn't just call one, or I didn't just take his shit on face value. Right. I called 3 motherfuckers so I can make sure that this shit is all lined up. So this shit is another book out, can't remember the name of it. And I know Borders and Barnes & Nobles had it for a minute. And you might get it at some bookstore that carry the occult books. They had another book, some information that was lost out of Egypt of some of the same shit of the tangents for all the Egyptologist motherfuckers in here. So the same shit applies. You feel where I'm coming from? So that's going back into what we was talking about with Babylon, the Great Whore, and with this new entity of Zeta Kuma. You know what I'm saying? Get this information. And what I do with the chalk?
Fell on the floor.
You fell on the floor? Where's that? Oh, okay. So the brother also gave me a symbol, a sigil, or whatever. A sigil. And this is the sigil of Zeta Kuma. This is a sigil, so anybody want to get this information that's a practitioner in magic and alchemy and want to get the fuck up out of this bullshit, then here it is. This is one of them of many, and there's millions coming. So be prepared, because this shit is coming online right now. This shit is coming online right now, so be prepared. If you if you into your alchemy, if you into your magic, if you into your spirituality, into your sex, and you into all of these different things, all this shit is gonna come online. And the first way it's gonna come online is when you start freeing yourself from all this dogma. Because then the melanin can actually line up the way it needs to line up. It ain't gonna line up the way it needs to line up with so much laws and all this other shit involved in it. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna line up because melanin is chaotic. It's ever changing. You know what I'm saying? The only thing remains the same is motherfucking change. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to go to the next level of shit, you gotta line yourself up with the primordial force. Like I said, you gotta line yourself up with the primordial force. So this particular entity that came through Zeta Kuma, the Zane in Zeta Kuma is also connected to some of the information that Kenneth Grant gave out in a book called Beyond the Mauve Zone. Beyond the Mauve Zone. And the Mauve Zone is called a Mufkas Zone, or the zone going into the gate. It's like a gateway, which is on a tree of life. They call it Darth. And once you go through the spirit of Darth, you get to the next realm, which is a whole nother tree of satellite that goes with that double entity of the Horus and the Set that I was talking about. Right. That goes into the double entity. So this is actually also with the Zane, we're dealing with the zone. That particular aspect of the Zane is connected with Sirius. You know what I'm saying? So you got the double star of the Draconian carrier dealing with Sirius A and Sirius B. One is the primary universe, and the other one is a mirror. It's the illusion universe. So this is the dark side shit. The dark side shit dealing with the primal universe, and the mirror universe dealing with light and dark. The light is only the illusion. You travel 600 miles outside the planet, you break through a particular magnetic field. It turns dark. That will tell you that's an illusion. Anytime they show that shit on NASA, as soon as they break through out into space, as soon as they break through, everything turns dark, and everything is dark and cold. You know what I'm saying? So all that shit about you need sunlight for activate your melanin and shit like that. Actually, the sun is an enemy. A few years ago, Nexus Magazine did an article on the sun, and actually the sun actually is an enemy to melanin, because number one, the sun shrinks the pineal gland. Mm-hmm. It shrinks the pineal gland. If you notice, if you know anything about how melatonin produces in your body, it produces between the hours of 11 p.m., the most between the hours of 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. in the morning. So that's a nocturnal aspect. The sun in itself, the light in itself, shrinks the pineal gland. That's why they have so much fluorescent lights and shit like that to make you docile. You can never ever get out of this shit thinking that you gotta line up with this realm, because this realm is only illusion. Prime example, when you leave 600 miles out of this atmosphere, the shit turns black. It has a magnetic pull around it. This whole earth is a prison. This whole earth is a prison. Y'all brought this a book here I just picked up yesterday called Time, Fall, and Bodies Take to Light. And this book right here goes into the whole, goes into a lot of information on sex cults and the creation myths and how the fuck we got here. Because it wasn't a loving God, as most of us believe. It wasn't a loving God who put us here. This is actually spiritual warfare that's going on right now. This is why this shit is going down. Why a lot of shit is going down right now. This is why this new entity has come through. It's a spiritual warfare going down. And the other thing I want to say is that in the word Kuma, it also means at last and finally, meaning that it's the end You know what I'm saying? So this particular entity, Zeta Kuma, is also a gateway into the next primordial realm where we need to go back to the pure state of energy in itself. You feel where I'm coming from? So dealing with that, and then I got another joint I'm gonna probably do Tuesday, and dealing with the and I'll go into a little bit of that information on the necrophiliacs versus the holotropic mind, dealing with the spiritual warfare that's going on. And this morning I woke up like about 6 o'clock this morning, just early, and I went to bed probably like 2, 3 maybe. Woke up at 6, and the spirit was giving me all this information about this particular matrix and this battle that's going on in the spirit realm right now. You know what I'm saying? So not just on the spirit realm, just in the human realm, because this is all spiritual in itself. You feel where I'm coming from? So we're dealing with two different brains. We got two aspects of the brain that's going on. We have the matrix mind, that which makes you perceive everything the way it is. And then you have what you call the pineal mind, or the pineal brain, which is the primordial brain, which goes into the Greek myths of Titan and Prometheus, the Prometheus myth of how Prometheus stole fire from the gods. Meaning that when Zeus was creating the humans out of this titanium dust, which is melanin, to imprison them, he had a helper, but the helper was on our side, and the helper was called Prometheus. And when Prometheus supposedly stole this fire from the gods to help man to be more powerful and overthrow the gods one day who imprisoned us in the first place. So the chakra system has a lot to do with that. The pineal gland has a lot to do with that. These different aspects of spiritual concepts and melanin has a lot to do with that. The Kundalini in itself has a lot to do with that, because that particular energy in itself is the energy that we're going to actually have to use to actually start getting up out of here. That's why a lot of entities are coming on, because more energy of the Kundalini is rising. And like I said, we're in a time cycle, according to the Maya calendar, they say 2012. This shit's supposed to be over with. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of spiritual shit going on. Now, I don't want to go by that shit, you know what I'm saying? But I want to go by what I'm feeling and what I know and what I've been talking to people around the country and a lot of shit that they've been going through and a lot of things that's going on with them right now. You know what I'm saying? So this shit is really over at this particular time. So it's all about getting lined up with this alchemy and things of the nature and this melanin. To activate this melanin to a whole nother realm. I go into that on the new tape I got out there called Alchem, Gateway to the Chaos Realm. I go into these particles lining up to make new entities and shit like that, so we can overthrow this shit. So we can finally get up out of this. And the particular aspect of the demiurge energy, the lower gods that imprison us, the demiurge energy versus the primal gods is dealing with this holotropic mind, dealing with the matrix mind. And so these particular brains are actually doing battle right now. You know what I'm saying? So what you see as physical battle, what you see as warfare on the physical realm is actually going on in the spirit realm. So this is why this shit is going on right now. I got a mantra here that I wrote the other day. Everybody got pens and papers, you can take this down. It's a mantra for raising your Kundalini. When you're doing Kundalini exercise of raising your Kundalini, how to actually go beyond beyond this particular physical body to get up out of this. The mantra is called, is a Kundalini mantra, dealing with the particular death gates. And the death gates deals with the true life, which is death. That's why the ancient Kamites always long for death. That's why Crowley said in his book of Law, you shall long for death. You know what I'm saying? Even some of the samurai myths and codes tell you to do certain mantras to actually look for death and imagine yourself dying. You know what I'm saying? Because that's actually the particular real life. Death is the real life. And life right here, as we know as hell, is really death. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you had even the secret societies use the skull and bone symbol representing death. You see the arms crossed like this. That's dealing with the skull and bones. That's dealing with the crucifixion. And the crucifixion is actually going to a whole nother level. This is actually dealing with a whole aspect of Kundalini and energy rising up. And when it cross to your mouth of God, your 33rd vertebrae, it cross like this. The two serpents. You know what I'm saying? They cross like this. So that's what the skull and bone shit is about. This mantra here, you can write this down. It says, give me death, for death is life. Crucify my person, O great serpent, queen of the south gate. Rise up through the black waters, for chaos rules and life as we know it shall be no more. If anybody want me to repeat that, I can repeat that. All right. All right, so it says, give me death, for death is life. Crucify my person, O great serpent, queen of the south gate. Rise up through the black waters, for chaos rules. And this life as we know it shall be no more. It's a powerful mantra.
One more time.
All right, no problem. I can keep chanting this shit so we can get the fuck up out of here. I can chant the shit with me. Give me death.
Give me death.
For death is life.
For death is life.
Crucify my person,
Crucify my person,
O great serpent,
O great serpent,
queen of the south gate.
queen of the south gate.
Rise up
Rise up
through the black waters,
through the black waters,
for chaos rules.
for chaos rules.
And this life as we know it
And this life as we know it
shall be no more.
shall be no more.
Hallelujah.
Oh, hell no.
No, anyway. Everybody say amen. Amen. I feel like I'm in church and shit. But anyway, this is the mantra. So a couple of things you want to know about this goddess. She's very destructive. And when I finally did when the sister channeled the information I talked to last night, the goddess was coming through her, and the goddess was telling in so many words saying, I'm happy. And saying she was happy that we had got in contact. You know what I'm saying? And that she was happy that we had contacted each other. The thing you want to know, the most important things is if you lined up with this shit, she will do your bidding. She will do your bidding. From my understanding, what I was told, she would do your bidding. So she's also fierce, and she's a dark goddess. So don't even try to control her, no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't even try to control. Just line yourself up with it. You know what I'm saying? She will do your bidding. So much time I got, man?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go. We do that. Things. We gotta go through some stuff on particular mind functions and things of that nature to line this up. And you gotta know what level you on, you know what I'm saying? So the particular 5 states of awareness. We have your gnosis, then we have your the awareness, these are certain types of people too, by the way. So you have your gnosis, your awareness, you have your robotic. You have your dreaming. And the unconscious.
That's good.
Let's get it right. Shit. And these are the 5 states of different people and aspect to this. With your gnosis have power. A brother told me one time, the more knowledge you have, the more power you have. You know what I'm saying? You have people that are aware, you know what I'm saying? Not so knowledgeable, but aware. You know what I'm saying? You meet those type of people all the time. You know, they know something about consciousness, you know what I'm saying? So they might affiliate you with some type of sect or group of conscious people. So you have your awareness, then you have your robots. Those are robotic motherfuckers, which are probably 99% of the motherfuckers you know. So you have your robotic people, and these are the most treacherous motherfuckers to know. In the movie The Matrix, what the dude say, when that girl was walking by him, he turned around, he said, she's not even real. You know what I'm saying? You get caught up into these motherfuckers and so many affairs on the human level. You know what I'm saying? This could be your destruction in itself. You know what I'm saying? So then you have your dreaming motherfuckers. You see them. So these people right here, these aspects of these conscious states line up. The dreaming, the unconscious, the robots. These people line up. And you know it. I went to school with a nigga who was the biggest punk in motherfucking school. But through ego and materialism and his clothes made him, after we grew up and seen him later on in years, through his ego and his clothes and things of that nature, he identified himself with that. So he was not only a robot, but he was a dreamer. You know what I'm saying? So in his dreaming state, he was this gangster nigga. So I saw him a few years ago. He's walking down the street with a cigar with a little white suit on and shit, stepping and shit. I'm like, what's up, man? What's going on, man? You know, he talking all different and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? So these are your dreamers. A lot of these motherfuckers on TV, these rappers and shit. You know what I'm saying? They want to line themselves up with Giuliani and all these other motherfuckers. These all these Spanish gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Then you got your unconsciousness. And these are aspects of the people that you deal with on a daily basis. Particularly the gnosis and the awareness. The gnosis is the highest of all the 5 states of the people. So I think that's my time. Bring Brother Panic up. Thank everybody for listening to everything I said.
All right. Give it up one more time for Room Rock. Yeah. Right. Make no mistake, he's Eye Opener Midwest. He gets the information out from that area, so he is family. Make no mistake. And he can come here anytime and say whatever he needs to say. All right, so we're going to take a break right now. And I just want to say again, the email is eyeopenerproductions@hotmail.com. I'm going to set up a list where you could sign up with us, you know, get on that list and write your name clearly. If not, eyeopenerproductions@hotmail.com. Send me an email and I'll put you on that list. Also, what's going on now is the astrology class with Brother Will. Brother Will's right here. And it's a hot thing. You might want to do that. It's a good thing. If you need information on what's going down in that class, also again, email me. I'll send you what's going on, or call Shabazz, and that can happen. So we're going to take a break right now. How long is the break? Yes.
How long is the break?
I'm ready.
Yeah, you got one class.
Speak to him.
You can speak to him on it, But it's all been taped, so if you miss anything, you can catch up, get it taped. They're out there right now.
I ain't selling no more of the classes, just that first class.
First, okay, you heard that, right? First class, you can get that, but get in that class. I mean, I'm not even that interested in astrology, but I have a whole new outlook dealing with Will. So it is that serious. So, all that's it. We're gonna take a break? You wanna take a break?
I don't know. Shoot, I'm
Yeah.
ready.
What you wanna do?
What you want to do? You want to take a break or something? You?
Yeah.
All right, how long you take a break?
The break will be 20 minutes.
All right, we're gonna take a 20-minute.
Well, in that case, that's gonna only break we're gonna have. In that case, y'all can come on up and get some of this stuff. Oh, you want to take one later? That's what I'm saying.
I gotta change the tape right now. So whatever y'all want to do.
No,
I don't
ask the
care.
audience.
I'm here.
What y'all wanna do?
You change
Y'all
the
go.
tape.
We can go. We can just keep going. Let me change the tape.
Dad's
Let me
gonna
change the tape.
change the tape. We're gonna go.
All right.
This is a break right here.
And explain all of this.
Go ahead, man. You on? It's on.
And then we'll take a. But Dim, you want to take another break after that? You know.
I don't care. I'm out.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm going to lecture, explain this thing, and we'll go to a break, and the niggas can buy some of this shit.
Where's Bobby's break?
Homeboy needs your help. Uncle Bobby needs you. No. Wait a minute. So are y'all gonna take the break, or what you wanna do?
The break is taken.
Huh?
I think the break is taken.
So this what to go? What?
No, it's breaking. We breaking now.
You breaking?
No.
Okay. In that case, well, no. That's gonna no. I know. I tell you what. We're gonna roll with it. No, I tell you what we're gonna do. You on? Jamila, you on?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna just go ahead and roll with it. You see what I'm saying? No. Tell them Negroes to come back inside. There ain't no break. Tell them the shit is happening. I don't want to know. There is no break. Shit, you know how that goes. You're right. Niggas leave and get some food in them, and they go to sleep. Tell them to come inside. We're gonna roll with this thing. Because I gotta explain some of this thing here, and you see what I'm saying? And we'll take the break in about an hour and stuff. So let's roll with this. Yeah. You know, cause niggas get out there and all, you know, and all this. So, wait a minute, hold on. So, tell Panic and them to come back inside and all. And we're gonna do this. Yeah. Wait a minute, hold on. Do me a favor. Cut the camera off for a minute. Let me go get these motherfucking niggas out that hole. Shit. And we'll roll it that way. A lot of information. Y'all all right? Yeah. Okay. A lot of good information. A lot of things I want to deal with. Very important in this particular hour. First thing I want to deal with is to show you this particular picture. I was in Chicago doing a lecture in Chicago, and a sister was supposed to come and pick me up, and for some reason she was supposed to pick me up in baggage claim, but for some reason our paths didn't get crossed at the time when it needed to, what I would have thought. But what it was, the spirit was keeping me in the airport because I had to get a newspaper, and it came out that same day, and I'm out of the, and it was probably, if I didn't stay, I wouldn't have gotten the newspaper, but obviously a brother brought me one the next day doing the lecture. But it was time enough for me to reflect on some stuff that's going down. And this is very metaphysical because it's breaking a lot of keys. This is breaking a lot of keys with AIDS, and breaking a lot of keys, it's breaking a lot of keys with sickle cell, and on into spiritual warfare that's going on. But we're going to get into that. But before we do that, to get this out of the way, let me explain this Michael Jackson thing from 2 or 3 levels. One aspect of that is distraction. Anytime they want to distract us, they will put up something that they know is going to be so popular that we're going to get immersed in it. The other thing is not only distraction, because there's several things going on. You got them reopening the Atlanta child murders. You know, they're reopening this type of thing. That's a form of distraction. I mean, they say they're not going to release, or they're not going to retry and release Wayne Williams. They're not going to give him another trial, but yet they're going to open up the Atlanta child murders to find out who killed the Atlanta children, but yet Wayne Williams is supposed to be in prison for killing the Atlanta children, but they're saying, no, we got to find out who killed them, but we're not going to give you another trial. Now that's kind of an oxymoron, or either they're saying, black people, are you dumb and stupid? We're going to reopen the case to find out these people, these wrongful deaths, but yet we're not going to consider Wayne Williams, who you say killed Atlanta children, but yet they didn't charge him but for 2 grown-up murders. You see, so this is some play on the mind and some form of mind control also. Number 2, they quiet is kept. What's that, brother?
Now, they supposed to also go to the, I think, to the court for the Hemmitt or something.
They reopen the Hemmitt Till case. Hemmitt Till been dead for 50 years, 1955 to 2005. You understand? You got to understand the cycles. The greatest case they had as far as the court system was, as far as the trial of the century, I thought it was 10 years ago. O.J. Simpson. 10 years later, Michael Jackson. It's not by coincidence, because the Illuminati, or the people who rule, they do things on cycles. They do things based on cycles, and it's always in alignment with something that happened in the previous years before. So it's not by mistake. You see what I'm saying? That these things go on this way. Take, for instance, Johnny Cochran won the case of his life 10 years ago. 10 years later, they killed him with brain cancer, which is all done through implants. This is a book now that's out called The Lucid View. It's a book you need to get called The Lucid View. It's very popular. It's on a lot of, you can find this book in a lot of the basic bookstores, Barnes and Nobles, if you have Borders up here, and East West and different things. It's called The Lucid View. But I want to show you some things here, because this is very key with the whole Johnny Cochran thing. Y'all all right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. This is very key with that. Now here is because a lot of the things they had on implants, had a lot to do with information that came around 10 years ago. Key here is, and I'm going to get into this particular part, but I want to explain, because I'm going to go back to this implant, but I want to explain this to explain the Johnny Cochran case. Now, they always do things, always understand, they deal with stuff on cycles. They deal with things on cycles. In this book, The Lucid View, they are showing the new implants. Now, the new implants are a little different than the old implants, because these new implants, you show you some pictures of these things. The new implants that they have, we got a lot of good pictures, a lot of things. What time is it? Anybody know? 5:02. Yeah, we need to keep on rolling. You see what I'm saying? We got to get all this stuff out, because we got a lot to cover and all. But the new implants that they're showing, I want to show you, they had a guy with some in his hand, It's as big as a grain of rice. Remember now, just about all children born in the hospitals for the last 10 years are pretty much implanted. And the reason why you know that, because kids are killing kids now. You see what I'm saying? This is all a part. We're going to go into this type of thing because a lot of this stuff is going to come home because children are killing children now. And you saying, well, what is going on here? These children don't seem to know that murder is wrong, but a lot of this stuff has the government inception. And they got black people duped, for the simple fact is we don't know where to turn because we don't understand the concept of if a people give a technology, and the technology these people give is 50 years old, 40 years old, 30 years old, and they don't tell you that the technology exists, then they can still run your lives and you don't never catch on because you keep thinking that this stuff is going to be a part of the future. Going to be a part of the future. These are the new implants that's in this man's hand that's as small as a grain of rice or even more, and even to the point where one brother was going to say that they was going to start vaccinating people heavy. They're talking about the vaccine because now they can implant you through a regular hypodermic needle. You see what I'm saying? So now, these new implants, this is a book called A Lucid View. It's called A Lucid View. Now what happened with Johnny Cochran, as you know, the first person, Azariah was the first person right before Christmas, sometime in October or November, it said that Johnny Cochran was in trouble. And in so many words, then he dies from brain cancer. You know, the problem here is the white boy and the powers that be don't never forget. See, they look at everything as warfare. They are warfare people. They are warfare people. And the powers that be never forgive you. You see what I'm saying? They never forgive you on things. And although he won the case fair and square, they don't look at it that way. We're talking about this type of mindset. They look at it as a major victory. And so as a result, in a cycle, 10-year cycle, 1995, 2005, all of a sudden he comes down with brain cancer. Now this happened before. It happened before with the guy Reginald Lewis. Reginald Lewis, who was the one that bought Beatrice in 1987, you see what I'm saying, bought a major corporation, and that was unheard of by a black man. And the next thing you know, the first thing they did is, when he went to the hospital, because that's the key, anytime you get in trouble with the government, you can't never go to the hospital. So you'd ask Khalid Muhammad about that one. If you declare war with the government, you need to have some type of setup with your family or some close friend and say, look, if I get in some trouble, take me to Miss Rudolph. You see what I'm saying? Take me to Miss Rudolph, take me here, or whatever the deal here is, or here's the instruction on what to do, but don't take me to the hospital. You see. Now, they just go into the hospital, some routine checkup, and they get a thump on their toe, and they just think that the white man just loves them. And they go in the doggone hospital, and that's when they implant you. Now, Reginald Lewis, they implanted him, gave him a cell phone, and he came down with the same brain tumor, brain cancer. Johnny Cochran went in the hospital. He gets a cell phone, and it's so and now it's so powerful until they can send a signal through your cell phone that activates the implant, and you come down with brain cancer. So they took the brother out. You see, they took the brother out. You see, very key, but and it doesn't have anything to do with he's a black man and he's doing more things in the court system. No, they don't never forgive you. That's the problem. When you become their enemies, and sometimes you can inadvertently become their enemies by just being the best black person you can be. You understand what I'm saying? So now, dealing with that, to go back to the Michael Jackson thing, is this is 10 years later after the first trial of the century, the OJ trial. You see? And they're saying, well, maybe we didn't get OJ, but somehow we can reverse this thing. And they're saying, well, look, the best thing can happen is incarcerating a person sometimes, and we've got to look at it several sides, incarcerating a person sometime only means that you can make a martyr out of them, and people can say, yeah, you know, they got brother Michael Jackson locked down. Sometimes character assassination is much more powerful to use to bring down the greatest star in history. See what I'm saying? Yes, now they just had a TV show, a 2 or 3 night special on Elvis. Everything is connected. Never think that nothing is not connected. Everything is a ritual to exalt this fool. You see what I'm saying? And he'll be dead, what, 30 years in 2007. You see, but why is it that they have to come and do it? What, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, they had this Elvis special? They're exalting Elvis? You see what I'm saying? You see, right in the midst of this Michael Jackson thing. But you got to understand the cycles. O.J. Simpson, 1995. They didn't get O.J., but to them in their sick, demented mind, is, we can get Michael Jackson. Now, we know that Michael Jackson got his problems. What black people don't. He is just our problems compounded to the 25th power. And stuff, you see. The point I'm trying to make here is, the cycle is, it's the trial of the century. Here it is, 10 years later, we find ourselves immersed in this. Let me give you an example. First of all, he got an all-white jury, which, like I said before, by him being white, they did try him with a jury of his peers. He's white. But the problem here is they sequestered the O.J. jury, and they learned from that. If they do not have the mind control of the media, they might do the right thing. In this case, they didn't sequester them. That means they could go home at night and watch all of the shows, which says that he is guilty. You understand what I'm saying? Which says that he is guilty on one particular aspect. And it's all to bring down this particular character. Now, I know that Michael Jackson is infallible. He thought that he was infallible. He thought that white folks loved him. And like they said, and they talked to plenty of people, and all the people, even Diane Sawyer and all of them were saying, well, goddamn, did you have any advice from the 10 years before, 11 years before when this thing went down? Did you have any advice? And he said, people would say, no, you couldn't talk to Michael. Michael was beyond advice. Now, the mystery here is, so we know that his problems. The problem here is that if they can't lock him down, the character assassination is going to be greater than him being in lockup. O.J. Simpson is finished as far as the character assassination. Michael Jackson would have to move to Europe, like he said. They still love him over there. He would have to move to Europe, you see what I'm saying? Because he's finished in this particular, you know, in America. So that's a part of the ritual. Now let's get into the esoteric part of the ritual. Either way, we win. Because in 1940, an occultist or a historian, student of Gerald Massey's, by the name of Alvin Boyd Kuhn, wrote a book called Lost Light. He has a chapter in there of the double trial of Mayotte. And he concluded by studying the hieroglyphics and the papyrus, mainly the pyramid text, he concluded that the judgment scene and the trials that they explained in the pyramid text that later on would be a rendition in the Bible and all that, he concluded that those things would not go on, well, part of it would not go on in the spirit world. That there would be a part that would go on in the spirit world, which is the judgment of the heart, and the heart chakra. We're going to go into that in a few minutes. But one would actually be actual trials that set in human history that would actually judge the entire world based on the mindset that will come out of these trials. which is interesting because Amenta is called what? The West. Osiris is called the Great Westerner, which means of a people or a futuristic people that will be in the West. You see, that will be in the West. Even I have a prophecy of that because the word Hemmit is in the temple of Dendera, and it means the people that will live in the latter times. You see what I'm saying? You know, I didn't name myself that. I was born that way, but it's ironically, one T is off Egyptian hieroglyphic, which is a form of prophecy. But they say it will be a people in the West. You see? The Hermetic texts talk about a group of black people in the West. Now the mystery here is that Alvin Boyd Kuhn said it would be a judgment in Amenta, but Amenta is still called the West. Now you can't go no further west than California, metaphysically. A lot of the yogi masters and stuff, when they came over in the 1930s and they chose some things, they went to California. So the two trials were taking place where? In the Sunshine State or the Golden State or the whatever, California. So that's prophecy. That's prophecy. Now, they talked about, I'll give you two sides. They talked about trials, these trials, and here, this is interesting here because what is interesting here, they had one trial 10 years ago, and it was the trial of the century. No trial has been bigger than the OJ trial. They had the next trial, which is this huge trial. You see what I'm saying? It didn't eclipse the OJ trial, but it's the biggest thing other than the OJ trial. You understand what I'm saying? Both of them occurring in the West because Mayat has two feathers. And not only that, it means the double judgment. It's all in Albert Boyd Kuhn's book, Lost Light. Which means that the first trial that happened, there was a great separation. Now, before white people convinced you that OJ was guilty, the day that they found OJ innocent, every black person knew in their heart that this man didn't kill these people. And over the last course of 10 years, white folks didn't accept that, so therefore, now you doubting it. You see what I'm saying? But it represented at that particular time in 1995, you knew that he was innocent. It was called the Great Separation, and it is in the hieroglyphic text. And in the hieroglyphic text, they have some type of symbol that looks like this in the hieroglyphic text. And it means the Great Separation. And it means a great divide based on two people, or two groups of people, the dominant people in this country, two groups of people that see things differently based on their experiences different. Now, I don't want to give them about no Asians, no Mexicans, no Indians, or whatever. In this country, it's the ebbs and flows is based on what? Black and white. Now, even that old crazy racist, that old Uncle Tom nigga, Larry Elder. The biggest Uncle Tom's ever loved the white man more than the white man loved himself. But he did say something one time when I had a debate with Steve Copley. And he did say, well, y'all must understand something here. He was talking about racism in Hollywood. He said, yeah, but in Hollywood, it's clear cut down the line. They only have two kind of movies made. Mostly white, and the other group that has the most amount of movies made is black movies. You see what I'm saying? You very rarely see the Asians, you very rarely see the Mexicans or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And if you share the top billing based on movie stars, you got Denzel, you got all these particular people, and you got white folks. So in so many words, in this country, it like they say, it would be the problem of the color line. This shit is about black and white in this country, and it's always been that way. So in that particular case, they said that there would be a great separation, and it's based on two experiences. We know it ain't shit for a black man to go to jail for something that he didn't do. But white folks, knowing the officers in their neighborhood, like Richard Pryor said, this is unheard of. The law can't be wrong. You know what I'm saying? And you can't walk across the street the right way with the law ain't being wrong. Some motherfucker fucking with you and policing your ass. The point I'm trying to make here is, did you see, and Richard Pryor made that statement. Do you see this motherfucker now? Yes, sir. Richard Pryor, he need to have somebody slip in there and get this nigga some cyanide, because the white woman is holding him hostage. This nigga drooling. This nigga is fucked up. And when you get to that particular level, you're supposed to go to the next round. You see what I'm saying? Go to the next round. You see, but we scared of dying. He said, I gotta give a shout out. I gotta have a cousin. She's like my first cousin, but she's my mother's age, so down south, that's your fucking aunt. She my age, that's my first cousin, that's y'all goddamn aunt. But she made the transition because she, had diabetes, got gangrene in the leg. She said, no, I don't want to cut my leg off. And we knew when they said, don't cut a leg off, I said, you ready to die, because this woman here was scared to death. And she said, I said, do you know you're gonna die? She said, don't cut my leg off. And we went to Philly, and she waited till I flew to Philly, and she died. And then all of a sudden we had these ceremonies in Philly for 2 or 3 days. When I got back, I said, "How?" They said she made the transition. And of course we got in touch with her, and she's like, "Yo, man, I like the celebration y'all had for me." And she got cremated. She said, which I wouldn't have been able to have her. I wouldn't have been able to do had I not been cremated, because see, the body tends to hover around the body. But if you cremate it, the soul can get to the other level faster. So she was cremated, and bam, and my brother was like, look, we ain't heard from Jane since she left. And my youngest brother, for some reason, every dead motherfucker come and hang out with him in his house. My grandmama still up in his shit, and she died in 1990. Cutting on the TV and shit. But he said, we ain't heard from Jane. Jane made the transition. You see what I'm saying? And she made the transition and stuff. So, but, she made the transition, but, I don't know where that came from, but anyway, I guess she came through and said that, but, I'm leading to something. But, there was a great separation that went down in the last trial. This is the other trial. It ain't so much, some of us, we do, well, it might be quite evident that Michael Jackson done fiddled around when a motherfucker said you can give a nigga your bed is the greatest thing you can do. But I don't think he did it with these crackers. You see what I'm saying? Don't want to spend a lot of time on that, but what I'm trying to say here is the metaphysical aspect is this is a second part of a judgment. And based on what is happening down here on the earth plane will set up a judgment, and further judgment to seal the powers that be doomed based on the way they judge things outside of history, because they don't never really look at history to find out, is this shit accurate? Let me give you an example. They've been celebrating D-Day all this year. And all, 60 years of freedom for white folks. And D-Day at the end of World War II. And mainly, we went to help, I don't want to say we, because that's mind control. Mainly, America went to help Britain and Europe get out of the bind with so-called Hitler. It's a family fight. Like Dr. John Henry Clark said, that's a family fight. And then they celebrated the freedom of the end of World War II and freeing Britain from the tyranny of so-called Adolf Hitler. And ironic, the day that Britain was freed in World War II in 1945, ironically, they had in slavery half the human globe. They had in slavery colonized, now here's the concept here. This is a great day for freedom, and you're supposed to celebrate a great day of freedom for France, America was the Allies. France and mainly Britain, you see what I'm saying? And it was a great day for freedom for those particular main ones, and yet both France had Africa colonized and Vietnam, as well as Britain had China, Africa, the Caribbean, you see what I'm saying? Australia, South Africa, and Canada. And yet, but see, this is the concept of the mindset. They're saying when they're free, it's a great freedom for everybody. But when you're free, when you're not free, you don't count. See what I'm saying? And yet they will get this stuff into history, and you say, yeah, great freedom, the Allies and all that. Motherfucker, you was in slavery. And America, who fought in the war at that particular time, had the system of slavery, the second system of slavery, the neo-slavery, called segregation. So none of the black world was free when they announced in 1945 based on freedom. Well, it's the same thing with the Michael Jackson and O.J. Simpson trial. Their concept of justice and all of this type of stuff does not apply to you. So why the fuck you gonna get on their side when they suggest to you that these damn people here might be guilty? You see what I'm saying? Like I said, a nigga with a motherfucker supposed to be dying from cancer in 2 weeks and Michael Jackson gonna fuck him. And we supposed to believe this shit. You see, moving right along, we still talking about this. There's a great judgment on all of this. And you must understand that particular judgment, and you must understand this particular aspect. Their hands is forced. There's some things happening spiritually that will make them even get into the mind control aspect of distraction. Distracting you from something. You see what I'm saying? On that particular aspect. I just gave you the metaphysical aspect, but it's still a part of distraction, and that's what we're going to get into today. Y'all all right? Yeah. Well, let's roll and get into some things. Let me get my notes out here so we can start the lecture. And shit, you know. You see. Freedom. Well, it's the same thing with the Michael Jackson and O.J. Simpson trial. Their concept of justice and all of this type of stuff does not apply to you. So why the fuck you gonna get on their side when they suggest to you that these damn people here might be guilty? You see what I'm saying? Like I said, a nigga with a motherfucker supposed to be dying from cancer in 2 weeks and Michael Jackson gonna fuck him. And we supposed to believe this shit. You see, moving right along, we still talking about this. There's a great judgment on all of this. And you must understand that particular judgment, and you must understand this particular aspect. Their hands is forced. There's some things happening spiritually that will make them even get into the mind control aspect of distraction. Distracting you from something. You see what I'm saying? On that particular aspect. I just gave you the metaphysical aspect, but it's still a part of distraction, and that's what we're going to get into today. Y'all all right? Yeah. Well, let's roll and get into some things. Let me get my notes out here so we can start the lecture. And shit, you know. You see. We can get the notes out here. First of all, let me get this out. We'll start with this. Well, this is one that's interesting. You remember the little white girl that was dying? They want to pull out the tubes, Shabazz. They want to snatch the tubes out, and they went to court and all that kind of thing. That was a ritual that went on around Easter. You see what I'm saying? They started on the spring equinox of bringing that in, and all of a sudden it's this whole thing of whether she should die or live. You know, this motherfucker been dead since 1990. You know what I'm saying? You just been feeding the motherfucker since 1990. Like, goddamn. You see what I'm saying? You tell me I can't be on welfare and you done fed a motherfucker for 1990. I can't get no goddamn food stamp, but you got a motherfucker sitting up here feeding a motherfucker at $3,000 a damn day since 1990. And she ain't moved a fucking stitch. At least a nigga can give a little dance and go buy some liquor and make you rich. Go buy some goddamn shit from the Asians and the Mexicans and make your ass rich. This bitch ain't doing no laying up in a goddamn bed. You tell me you can't feed me, but you feed this hoe for fucking goddamn 10 fucking years. And then go to Congress and say, we want to feed this bitch some more. Well, fucking, you cut the goddamn welfare people off, cut her ass loose. See what I'm saying? Cut her ass off from the titty. So Congress was right. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker freeload. Cut her ass loose. The mystery here is, I'm telling you, got all this goddamn, you don't tell me that I don't get no food stamp, but you feeding a motherfucker at $10,000 a day for 10 damn years. And she ain't did shit, but developed some souls on her ass. Well, for white people, that's more valuable than you. See what I'm saying? See, they wouldn't even cut on no machine for no nigga. First place. God damn it, not no none of this electricity going up in your ass in the goddamn bed. See what I'm saying? Get a bit some water. Anyway, this thing again says, this is on Sunday, March the 26th, 2005. And this is the ritual, because Congress convened and made like they was gonna save her and all this type of stuff. And then they came out and said, court again rejects aid for Shabazz. Fathers say the struggle is down to the last hours. And right up under here it says, a woman's plight, Shabazz, likened to Jesus. And this is on Easter. This is Saturday, the day after Good Friday. Likened to Jesus. Straight up ritual. You see what I'm saying? Now, I think she died on that Tuesday or whatever the shit was. And they had all this buzz. You know what I'm saying? And all that stuff to get the people grip. And that was a ritual that went on. That was a ritual that went on. You see, and they can do things like that and all. You must understand. You must ask yourself these questions. Why are they doing that? Okay. The next thing here is, just doing some recapping, was this particular brother here that shot up the courthouse in Atlanta. Brian Nichols. Yeah, I got a better picture of him. Brian Nichols. They shot up the courthouse in Atlanta. This is Atlanta Journal-Constitution. But here it is. Now, what is that all about? Atlanta Journal-Constitution. He shot up the courthouse. Everything is connected. And then this paper comes out. Is Atlanta safe? On the heels of the county courthouse murders, Sunday paper examines whether our city officials are prepared for a full-blown terrorist attack. And it says, is Atlanta safe? But they don't have him on the paper. They got Bin Laden, Osama bin Laden.
Damn.
Now, they don't put him on the paper. This is the motherfucker that shot up the place. MK Ultra.
Yeah.
Manchurian Candidate. There is no mistake in them putting out Denzel, our top actor, and Manchurian Candidate. You see what I'm saying? And putting this back out, and this brother here going off, killing people. You see what I'm saying? On the Manchurian Candidate thing. We'll go into that in a few seconds. But here it is. This is the new face of terrorism. The black man. Our streets are not safe. The new face of terrorism. You got that? On the other hand, why would they put this on the paper based on Atlanta? This motherfucker never been to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Why would they put this on there? Is Atlanta safe and got Bin Laden? Because this and this, based on mind controllers to say, you register this for terrorism. Now try to understand this, because I got a tape out there called Mindfuck that go into all of this and stuff, go into all of this, and also goes into how the government is trying to outlaw the vagina, and they're starting with it based on the porno level. We'll go into that in a few minutes, but I got a whole tape on this thing out there called Mindfuck. The key here is, with this particular aspect of this brother, is this brother was under MK Ultra, mind control. Because we don't study history, 10 years ago, and nobody in Atlanta realized this, but 10 years ago, no, in 1991, the same thing happened. I had a brother in the mental institution. They gave him an evaluation to let him out, and they probably gave several of them the evaluation that day. But that day, he said, well, look, with me, if you let me out, I'm going to go and get me a gun and kill up a whole bunch of people. They were like, oh shit, we gotta let this motherfucker out tonight. So he said that 1 hour, they let him out the next hour. He got on the bus. He was gonna kill some people on the bus, but he didn't have a gun, so it's kinda hard with your hand. He went home, he found a gun. How did he get a damn gun? That's what I wanna know. He found a gun, went out to Perimeter Mall and killed up 4 or 5 white people. Killed out about 4 or 5 white people. And when they got him, he said, I have an implant in my head. Said this in 1991. Right during the same time the last Iraqi war was going on in 1991. You see. He said, I have an implant in my head. Now this particular guy, he goes wrestles down an officer, goes into the judge's secret chambers on a doorway that he don't know where the doorway is. But somehow he finds this man's doorway. As far as the door to his secret chamber, it's a secret chamber. It's got a hidden door. He went through the hidden door, shot this judge and killed him and said, I like this judge. He was a fair judge. Ain't this a bitch? He was a fair judge and I like this judge. Killed this judge, found the secret doorway, go out, kill this black man that ran behind him, go to the parking lot, because that's programming. Go to the parking lot, wrestle this Atlanta Journal-Constitution reporter, wrestle him for his car. The reporter calls him a nigger, and he looks at him and don't shoot him, but shoot the black man for running behind him. Damn. You see what I'm saying? Goes up to get on the fucking train, the subway. Now that's Homeland Security. We got big old signs on our train station, property of Homeland Security. Go up, ride the train's got cameras on. You know what I'm saying? You be eating on that motherfucker down there, and every now and then the black man go, yo, you better quit eating that shit, because you get to that station, they're gonna arrest your ass. People like, oh damn. And this motherfucker on the train, go up to Buckhead, goes to this other guy's house, and say, I come for your car, and your gun, and your badge. Now, here's a guy out in his damn yard, working on his house, da-da-da-da-da. This guy comes up to him and says, I come for your car, your gun, and your badge. How did he know this motherfucker had a badge and just so happened to be a guy that is into Homeland Security? I go to Chicago and I get this particular paper. This is very key. Now this is what we're here for. This is all metaphysical. It says, state of emergency. Illinois House passes bill that attack Black AIDS crisis. Very key. Illinois House has a bill that attack Black AIDS crisis. First of all, there ain't no AIDS. There's only AZT poisoning. All right? Now, look. House representative approves a bill that address an epidemic for blacks. Now here it is, this is the shit. Because they got a bill, you're the only people in history. They got a bill with AIDS and HIV that's got your name attached to it. They started it at the state level of Illinois and Chicago, and it's getting ready to sweep the country. Now, we know what's coming on this thing. We give you the metaphysical thing in a minute. But it says, Illinois General Assembly unanimously passed the bill Thursday that will coordinate the efforts of several state agencies in addressing the AIDS crisis in African American community. You know what I'm saying? Now come on. And it's not by mistake that the boy put out the book on the down low, and he was allowed to come on and talk about the down low mail 4 years before he put out the book. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, what kind of nigga can get on TV and plug his book in the first place? But damn sure a nigga can't get on TV on McNeil Report, which is PBS, and talk about the down low mail and say, oh, and I'm writing the book, and the book come out about 3 years later. Not unless they want to give you an excuse to say when they kill you with the AZT poison that homosexual is rampant based on the down low male in the black community. But what about the white community? Well, everybody is fucking gay. That's not a damn. That's not a choice. That's just a racial trait. You can track that shit from Greece. The point I'm trying to make here is, that's a book, Homosexuality in the Ancient World, and it's all about Greece. Now, the bill, you go to the number. We put the number down here, because this is going to affect y'all. Put this up just a little bit. Okay. The House bill number. This is in Illinois. You can look it up on the internet. House Bill 2578. This shit is law now. You got numbers behind your shit. You see what I'm saying? 2578. House Bill 2578 is also known as the African American HIV and AIDS Response Act. So they're saying it's called the House Bill 2578. Look it up on the internet. You go to Illinois General Assembly, House Bill 2578. Look it up on the internet. It's known as the African American HIV and AIDS Response Act. So that means they're going to respond to you having AIDS. Was introduced on February, was introduced in February by Representative Connie Howard, Democrat 32nd District or whatever that shit is. It's probably some old nigga. They always get a nigga to do some shit. We the dumbest motherfuckers going. Howard told the Chicago Defender, which is this particular paper, which is a black newspaper, the state now is recognizing the extreme emergency existing in our community. The bill will provide state agencies to coordinate local health organizations to contact HIV and AIDS testing and counseling for Chicago State University Research Department to study the connection between the incarceration and HIV infection. Well, they already incarcerated, so what the fuck we got to worry about? And if they incarcerated, they don't fuck white folks in there, so they should be worried about this shit too. It's all bullshit, because there ain't no fucking AIDS. It's HIV poison. It's AZT poisoning. The point here is they have an AIDS bill, an AIDS response bill, with your name on it, and it's getting ready to sweep the country. And that is how they're going to say, look, we're going to lock you motherfuckers down with the AIDS thing. Now you say, well, how they going to do this? Well, this is how they going to get y'all ass. This and this is the same. You all have been seeing this. It's on your local post office stamp. Now remember now, since so they get a black woman that looked pretty damn decent, and she got a little black baby, which makes you teary-eyed and shit. Anybody seen these stamps? Yeah. All right, it says test early for sickle cell. Test early for sickle cell. Now what they're going to do, they're going to announce that sickle cell and AIDS is one and the damn same. Now, I just did a tape. Bobby Hemmitt speaks to Dr. York's New Wabians. Badass tape. But one of the brothers that was up in there said that he worked in the medical profession, and in the medical profession that he worked in, they said that sickle cell and AIDS is the fucking same. Now you go to Showtime and look up a movie called, it's on Showtime, it's playing right now. It's called Behind the Red Door. Beyond the Red Door. I think it's called Behind the Red Door. And it's a movie with Kiefer Sutherland and a woman, Kira Cedric. You know, she's married to, what's the guy name? Kevin Bacon. And in the movie, this brother and sister, and she goes to help him, and she goes to go see him and come to find out he needs her to stay. He's a rich designer because he had AIDS and his boyfriend died a year before, but they never called it AIDS. He said, I'm on AZT for anemia. I'm anemic. They never called it AIDS. They always put it out before they do it to you. They went the whole movie, they didn't mention AIDS once. They just mentioned AZT and anemia. Then the brother who worked in the medical labs down in Atlanta says, what we're trained based on the medical doctors is the difference that they're calling sickle cell and AIDS the damn same. Now see, this is, all this shit is some stuff that been going on a couple of years and stuff. Me and this brother here did a lecture back in, Dr. Lamar did a lecture back in the February of 2004. And in there I was talking about a sister who mentioned that there's a sickle cell foundation in every city, and how they developed a serum for sickle cell, and the sickle cell people, the doctors or nobody, won't touch it by using a certain diet of African fruits, and they won't touch it. But there's a sickle cell agency in every city tracking the blood, and now you got this time a test early for sickle cell. But yet the movie Behind the Red Door, they say it's called anemia. You see, then you get this bill, House Bill 2578, Illinois State Assembly. Go on the internet and look up Illinois General Assembly, House Bill 2578. Now this is going to be the bill it's passed in Illinois. It's going to be the whole country where there are blacks, and it's called, you the only people got a damn AIDS bill named after you. The African American, but listen, HIV and AIDS Response Act. That means they're going to respond to this, but then again, they're saying sickle cell and AIDS is the same. They're telling people to test early for sickle cell, but guess what? When you test early for sickle cell, the sickle cell test and the AIDS test is the same. Anytime you go and give blood, or anytime you deal with anything in the hospital from the future on that's dealing with blood, they automatically test for AIDS. And when they test for AIDS, remember now, they cannot tell you that you're HIV positive unless they test for AIDS, but they can't make you test. But now they're gonna, but if you do test for some reason, whatever reason you get the test, and you test for AIDS, you're already quarantined. So this is a quarantine shit for this particular reason. So what is really going on? Now here's the metaphysical side. Y'all all right? Yeah. Here's the metaphysical side. This is the metaphysical side. Go into this right now. Let's see here. This is the metaphysical side. A couple of years ago, right after the movie Blade 1 came out, it was talking about curing the vampirism. With the woman in the movie, she cured the vampirism through what? Sickle cell. In the movie. She was a hematologist. You see what I'm saying? And I said, okay then. Now we know. Remember, Deborah Blair did a tape on the AIDS in 1993 and said that the AIDS, but the sickle cell in Africa, the AIDS, whatever it was not taken with the AIDS. Well, so many words, the AZT was not working with people with sickle cell trait. So they had to go in and study sickle cell to learn how to kill motherfuckers with AIDS. Then all the money started going into sickle cell research. And then there's sickle cell tracking things all over. Now, what's going on here? The sickle cell, here is an Aleister Crowley throat to rope. Let me put this down some more. Okay. That's it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Aleister Crowley's throat to rope. This is the tarot card called Death. It has the crown of Osiris, which is called Hemmitt crown, Hemmitt crown. Crown of Osiris, that's what it's called. I ain't saying the shit like that, I'm just saying that's what it's called in Kemet. Hemmitt crown, crown of Osiris. You can get that in the Aleister Crowley's tarot book. Anyway, now listen, now look at this. But this is a skeleton death holding a sickle. Mm-hmm. What else is that called? It's called a sickle, and it's called what, a skiff? A skiff. A skiff, a sickle, or scythe. Now follow me here. Here is death. You got a fish, which is a symbol of the Christ. You got a snake down there. You got a crab or a scorpion, which is the zodiac. You got some spirits. You got some webs. And this is now that, first of all, that's Osiris, which is the skeleton. You know, Osiris is the god of the dead. That's the, what you call it. But it's a sickle. This is some stuff that is inside of the blood. Now follow me here on what's going on. In the new movie, The Revenge of the Sith, the new Star Wars movie, they was telling them that the people on the dark side, and one of these dark side leaders, I can't think of his name, had mastered the dark side, but he mastered bringing the dead back to life.
That's what Dr. Vader was named after.
It was named after this guy.
Yeah, Vader.
Dark Sith.
His teacher.
What is it?
His teacher was Vader or something with Dr.
Sith Lord or something, and it was some type of Vader, and he was credited for bringing the dead back to life with the midichlorians, and using the midichlorians, which is microscopic organisms in the blood. And he was credited for bringing the dead back to life with the midichlorians using the dark force. Okay? In Greek mythology, which is black mythology, because those are your Etruscans, your Minoans, your Turians, and your original Greek were black people, which Dr. Charles Finch did the research, and the Greek culture has 85% sickle cell trait, which is talking about niggers, and the white statues was built in the late 1800s, as well as even the word Islam didn't come about until what, 1919 or 1916? Anybody ever studied any of the old books? They call it Mohammedism. We're talking about this cracker always fabricating history. You see what I'm saying? So those statues you see, them white Greek statues, only came about in the late 1800s, where they had a Renaissance, and they came there and they built all them statues that the nose don't fall off, but every motherfucking place else the damn nose fall off, and they're pristine perfect. You see what I'm saying? History is a lie agreed upon. But in the Greek mythology, they got a black river called Styx. That's the black river called Styx, is the central nervous system and the melanin inside of the blood. The melanin inside of the blood. The most aggressive form of the midichlorians, that they call it, and the microscopic organism is a form of melanin that is sickled. It's an attack virus. It is the armies of the dark. It is the dark armies. It's the same armies that you see in the movie, because all this stuff is talking about the central nervous system. The war is going on inside of our body. If you look at this shit out of here and don't look at this shit motherfucker here based on the scientific element of your body, you don't get the shit.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't get it. The dark armies that you see in the movie, The Two Towers, The Return of the King, and the first one, The Lord of the Rings 3 series, especially that second one, they really got down. All that shit you seen is going on in the body. And in the third movie, they showed you that these were black people that they was fighting. Because what? Some Berber-like people with black people. The Berber-like people showed up on what? Tall elephants. And they fought them and won. And then the Return of the Queen say, this is the time for the Western man. No, motherfucker, this is the time for the ancient man, because the Western man done had his run. But this is a ritual. They always do rituals. Y'all getting this? So now, if you transfer it to the body, the invasion is not coming from out here. The invasion is coming from in here. Even to the point when I was telling the Dr. York motherfuckers, because what happened is, it got a little heated because I was telling them that the shams ain't physical. The shams, what they call their UFOs, I said was spiritual. And they got a little upset. I'm like, why y'all getting a little upset? There's a book by Thompson called Angels and Aliens, and even Pat Robertson. Any cracker, don't let nobody, these white theologians that they put on TV, the motherfuckers are there for deception. The motherfuckers know some shit. When Independence Day came out, he said, we got aliens, but they are angels and they're not physical. The physical ones, he's right, is man-made UFOs from 1957, Area 51. Those are the white man shit, abducting people with the same bug eyes. We'll go get the movie Fire from the Sky when they go on the ship and they look and they got a closet full of big bug-eyed people. These suits they get in, they put these motherfuckers under some damn sedation and they halfway awake and they see these people operating on them in the suits and they thinking they got the same story, but it's always white folks. Why black folks ain't getting abducted? And what motherfucker gonna go, hell, even Sirius, which is the closest star to our solar system, is the sun behind the sun. Sirius is the father of our solar system. Our sun goes around the earth our earth goes around the sun every 365 days or whatever, based on your calendar. But our sun goes around a greater sun every 26,000 years, which is called a great year. That's the star Sirius. That's 8 light years away, and that's one of the closest stars of our solar system. So what motherfucker, since when did you know anybody gonna get on a damn physical spaceship that takes fuel? We can't even go across town without running out of gas, and the motherfucker go 8 light years and don't run out of gas? And come here and say, fuck, bypass the original man, we going straight to the cracker and operate on him. You gonna go to the goddamn hybrid? This is a simulation of a human, and you're not gonna go to the real motherfuckers? The gods of the universe? Because that's fake. So that's man-made UFOs. Right? That's man. So I was trying to tell him, I said, the UFOs are not, we got UFOs. We got spiritual vessels, but they in the skies, but they not physical. So they come one, and the first thing one brother hollered out, it might be on the tape, you listen real close. He said, well shit. Because they was getting all upset, and I'm like, why y'all getting all upset? He said, one guy said, what we need is a good ass lawyer. And I'm like,
Word.
what we need is a good ass lawyer. And I'm like, you might not hear it on the tape. Bobby Hemmitt speaks to Dr. York's Wabians. What we need is a good ass lawyer. And then the brother Chris is telling me that the sham was supposed to come on every 3 years of 3, and the next the sham was supposed to come was 2003. But this is 2005, and Dr. York is not out of jail. So that means that they was getting upset because they missed, because the sham was supposed to come, and so I'm saying they figured that the physical sham was going to get him out, and so they was getting all upset with me. Now the mystery here is, the mystery here is, so some of them was getting upset. You know what I'm saying? Some of them getting upset. And I told them, I said, now look, y'all, some of you, I said, look, each one of us got schoolhouses that when we first come out, I'm going to give them some slack on this because we all got to go through, everybody in here has to go through a level of some type of school to initiate you into shit. Some came through the nation, some came from the Afrocentric movement, some came from Dr. York. We all come to those schools, but if you stay in them schools, you see what I'm saying? You're supposed to initiate in them schools, get this particular information, and all the leaders, most of them will tell you, even Dr. York say, you got to become your own goddamn God. I've heard several people say that that's what Dr. York even told them. So, but you got followers, and you got the ones that understand that, you see, and so you're going to have a mixed emotion in the room. Some of the people there say, hey, we got to do this thing. We got to become gods because it's on us now. So you got the ones and shit that's going to holler out, what we need is a good-ass lawyer if there ain't no physical shams, they call the UFO, to bust him out. Because they knew that they were supposed to get bust out in 2003, and shit is 2005. So, now, going back now, but, I don't know where that all came from, but, going back, the shit is inside of the key here is, There's a guy by the name of Charles Musaeus. Wrote a book called Lion Path. You can get a hold to it, especially you get the ones from 1985 to 1997. If you can get those books, study the hieroglyphic texts, certain Sufi manuals of mystics of Islam, hieroglyphic texts and stuff. And he was one of the guys that studied melanin in the 1960s. One of these white boys, Charles Musaeus. It's called Musaeus, it's called a Lion Path. If you go on, you might can find some extension of his work on the internet. Lion Path 2000 and something. But anyway, he's a guy that's talking about melanin. He's got some other book called Control and Destiny. And in there it's talking about mythology and how all this motherfucking shit tie into the physical body. But one thing in his Lion Path book with all this esoteric teachings of the metaphysical aspect of ancient Kemet, his last part was that all of these texts is supposed to formulate into one type of Horus spaceship. Now that Horus spaceship is called Heru Behutit. You can get the text of Heru Behutit, which is Horus of the Disk, in E. Wallace Budge's book, From Fetish to God in Ancient Egypt. In the back of that book, last book, 1935, you go to the back of the book, they have all these hieroglyphic texts. One of the texts is the legend of Heru in the winged disk of Heru Behutit. And that's one of the texts. But this guy's conclusion by studying all this stuff, the Egyptian text and melanin, that in the back of his book, that his shit is going to all form into one Horus spaceship. But he's telling you to go through the Lion Path, which is your own body, and in so many words, it's the same research that you are the motherfucking ships. And even Dr. York said that one time, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's
I talked about it in my tapes in the 1990s, I think Dark Side or whatever. We are the ships. You see what I'm saying? Now, going back. So we're talking about the inner body. So the esoteric part of the death, he said we can bring back the dead based on the midichlorians. Melanin, Osiris is called what? Lord of the perfect black. Melanin is ancestral substance, which is called the shadow, something left behind, the Damien, or the Agos Damien, something left behind. It's a dead substance, but death, you see what I'm saying, is transformative life. So when they were talking about the midichlorians of bringing back the dead, they was not talking about the ancestors as far as to live back in the physical body. They was talking about accessing the dead or the ancestors through the blood system, which the most powerful God forms is with the sickle cell. Now, two tapes. What's the one that's out now that the boy did? The one about the white girl that said she ain't dead from AIDS because when they diagnosed her with AIDS in 1983, that she didn't go to the fucking doctor and she still living.
AIDS hoax, there's no test.
AIDS hoax, there's no test. There's a tape. You got that one?
Yeah, I got that.
And there's what? The Great AIDS Hoax.
The Myth of AIDS.
The Myth of AIDS. Got two tapes out there. You know, but finally they come and they say that, you know, we know that the AZT kills people, but what does the AZT attack? It attacked the cells and the DNA. Guess what AZT is? And this is the kicker. This is the kicker. So you got to understand this. The invasion that is coming from a war of the activation of the coming of the gods. Is coming through the DNA. It's coming from inside out. That's the invasion. That's the invasion. It's the DNA. There's a whole universe, and get the movie Osmosis Jones cartoon and understand the concept. It's coming through the DNA. You see what I'm saying? The AIDS is coming from the DNA. I'll give you an example right now. Y'all all right?
Yes.
This is good shit. Good shit. Let's look at this word of what they're trying to attack. The AZT is to attack the incoming current. The incoming current. Incoming current. Let me tell you the name of it. what the name of it? Let me get this thing right quick. Y'all bear with me. Y'all all right? This some good shit. This some good shit. The AZT is to attack AIDS, advanced, integrated, divine human species. Advanced, integrated, divine human species. That's what AIDS is. They say they're attacking AIDS through AZT. The AIDS don't exist. They're talking about attacking the midichlorians, are the rise of what they call the great old ones, or whatever they call this invasion, this alien invasion, Andromeda strain. They're talking about attacking this alien invasion, this AIDS, which is called advanced integrated divine human species. That's your girl Jewel Pookrum. Dr. Jewel Pookrum. What they call an AIDS is some type of extraterrestrial. And the extraterrestrial is inside of us. So the AZT is designed, and that's why they got black people with the sickle cell and all that kind of thing, is to attack the invasion coming from the inside. Attack the advanced integrated divine human species. Why? Because we are now becoming transmutated. The mutant. We're not talking about a hybrid. Get the difference. Mutations are normal in history. It might take a millionth of a chance, but still yet it's in the circumference of the history. You have mutations. You see what I'm saying? White folks are hybrid. That's the difference. You see. But we're talking about the same, we're talking about the X-Men shit. They say this process, they become mutants. They say, but it takes, this process is slow. Well, if you've been on the goddamn earth for 66 trillion years, then it ain't slow, because even the most conservative Afrocentric scholars say, well, pick a point in history and we'll be standing there. See what I'm saying? And even in the movie, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, they say, here's the eighth man. The British, that's the origin of white folks over here, Anglican crackers. Here's the eighth man that descended from apes. And then they say, and here's one that didn't descend from apes, and they show most death walking out the damn shit. Most death walking out. He come from space. See what I'm saying? So, for you here 66 trillion years, the DNA is mutating. Now, remember, you know, you got Dr. Richard King that's coming here, and he's talking about the melanin. Remember, he has a friend named, Fanny. And so we had a Hemmitt summit down in Atlanta, and down there, how many minutes? 2 minutes. And some stuff went down. So anyway, it was a fight between Valentine and these two sisters. So some people start calling them dykes, and I had to come to the rescue and say, they ain't dykes, these are my guests. One sister named Sharon out of Philadelphia, and the sister Fanny from Detroit, which is a researcher and stuff, and real good friends with Richard King. And she was the one to say, in the labs, every day, the DNA, new DNA is popping up on the genetic, new amino acids is popping up on the DNA strands of black people. And they've been studying this goddamn human genome. They've studied this human genome for 10 damn years, and then all of a sudden they get to 2000, and all the work for the human genome don't go to white folks, it go to studying black folks, and they give doggone Harvard University millions of dollars to study 15,000 black people in the United States. And so all the human genome research on the planet is now based on studying the DNA of black people in the United States. 15,000 black people in the United States and stuff. And they study that DNA, and there's new amino acids popping up on the DNA every day, and that is the coming of the new superhumans. Unbreakable. You see what I'm saying? Unbreakable. You see, that's what's coming with that, and this is what this thing is actually talking about. And Styx, the Black River, that they talk about in Greek mythology, is nothing but the central nervous system of black people is going through a transmutation. You see what it's going through a doggone transmutation. And so the sickle cell is an attribute. That's what Devil Blair said 10 years ago. That's a fucking attribute. You see what I'm saying? And the Africans, it was fucking them up and stuff like that. And they said, well, we can't even fuck with no disease like AIDS or any other shit that they got. Because let me explain this particular part. We do believe that the shit that they put the homosexuals under in 1982 was some type of disease. Because we know this because Case Western Institute is a white boy that's got a patent on the AIDS of 1982, and he's mad because he wants his money. And they got a patent on the AIDS, and they got a patent number, and we got it on the tape. We call the patent number out on the tape Mind Fuck. On the tape Mind Fuck. Dick Gregory and another guy, and stuff. And we put the damn patent number on this, but that shit they used for the people in 1982, they don't even deal with that no more. This shit here is now just AZT poisoning. You see what I'm saying? Because that shit that they had then scared the fuck out of, was scared the shit out of doggone sickle cell. Sickle cell scared the shit out of it with the Africans. So they had just happened to just go and say, look, you sick, AZT, and kill them off that way. But the sickle cell is an advanced fighting force. You see, you saw it in the movie Langoliers. Get that movie Langoliers, Stephen King's Langoliers. It's the Pac-Man. You see what I'm saying? Some shit from canine blood that they said that the...
Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah.
Also, I think it was on species 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But they gave the attribute of extraterrestrial to the white factor, but they took the DNA of the black who has sickle cell to kill off the crack. Now, in the series... In species 2, the black man had sickle cell, and that's how they killed off the alien in that one? Yeah, that's how they killed off the aliens with the crackers, but you know, we
right.
extraterrestrials.
Here goes the same shit again with the sickle cell thing. I knew it was another movie, and it was in my head, but it's Alien 2, no, Species 2 with the black man, Bubba Gump motherfucker in the movie.
Right.
And shit, you know.
Right. Also, the series 4400. There was this white girl who was pregnant.
By the black girl.
And, she, you know, they made it seem like she didn't know who she was pregnant by. Yeah. But every time she was driving or something, the trees would start bending towards her, all types of supernatural stuff. And whenever she would get in danger, people start shooting each other, all type of chaos, and they didn't want to try to attack her. But she was pregnant, and they said that her baby intestine had sickle cell. And you know, through the pregnancy, that's that ancient Babylonian.
Here you go.
Hippopotamus.
Look, you get the word Anpu, Anup, and in Samaria you get the word Anunnaki. The invasion of the Anunnaki, Nibiru is Neb Heru. Get the book, Bruce Ruck's book, clear up some of the Dr. York stuff that he was getting from Zachariah Sitchin. Get the book, Bruce Ruck's book, Archetypes, Architects of the Underworld. Bruce Ruck, Architects of the Underworld. Anunnaki, you got Nibiru, which is Neb Heru, which is the pineal gland. You get the Anunnaki, which is Anpu Anuba cell. It's called the Anuba cell in the Sirius Mystery, the new version from 1998, the Anuba cell, which is nothing but a black dog and melanin. It's called the black dog Cerebus, a three-headed dog in Hades. You see what I'm saying? I got all that. I got a book called The Occult Melanin. I got about 16 copies for the people for sale, called Occult Melanin you can get. And it breaks down all that shit, and it's talking about the central nervous system and all of that and stuff. So that black, all those mythical characters are nothing but characters that represent the cells, the DNA, and all of the stuff, the fairies and all inside of the inner body. Yeah.
And one more thing, if you go back and get, we know who's government, but David Icke, his Children of the Matrix book on ACT, he said that the Center for Disease Control, this thing is so poisonous, they don't even touch it with their hand, they'll deplete the skin off the hands, and just think what that's going to say to the central nervous system.
Not only that, check this out. What was so poisonous, son?
That's how poisonous AZT is.
AZT, let me tell you something, not only that, I'm from Atlanta, and every day at 3 o'clock, People who work for the CDC every day at 3 o'clock is high school black children. Inner city high school black children work for the CDC every day. So I said, what they do? What are you all doing? One day I was broke. Nigga was fixing the clutch on our car and shit. And I said, well, I'm broke, man. He said, oh, I can get you some money. This brother was from the hood. He said, I've been getting paid since fucking 14 years old. These are the same people that they sell, that they use in the CDC every day. I said, well, what you mean by that? And he used to be one of those people in high school that worked at the CDC. He said, I can take you a place now, man. You go in there and you take a whole bunch of drugs, and they monitor the drugs. You got to spend about 3 hours, but we gonna get cold paid. We can do this shit now, man. He said, I'll never have to worry about no money. And I said, oh, so that's what they're doing in the CDC. And remember I said that there was an Atlanta child in 1996. One of the mothers from the Atlanta child murders came to my lecture. And she said, I'm so-and-so. I said, how you doing? She said, one of my children was murdered with the Atlanta child murders. And I said, well, she said, well, I said, so damn. I said, that's the truth. She said, let me tell you this. She said, they came and got me to take me to my daughter, and my daughter was still alive. And she said, my daughter looked like she was 90 years old. This woman told me this. That was in 1996. And then in 2000, there was a movie called Red Ink that came out, a cheap version. And in there, they talked about how the children looked like they were 90 years old. You see what I'm saying? And all this is based on the CDC. So you said, come on, that's the house motherfucker gonna get them, and we don't know about it. Well, shit, who gonna believe a black woman from the ghetto if the courts and the people don't think that she said they went and got me to take me to my daughter? Who gonna believe that shit? You see what I'm saying? So the point is the whole CDC, that's who they work on. High school students. Mm-hmm.
No, I was going to tell you, my cousin does those tests, and they pay him something like $3,000 to $5,000 to take those tests. And what it is, he has to stay there. He stays there maybe a week or two.
That's in Atlanta?
No, he goes in Jersey.
Jersey, they got a. Mm-hmm.
They got a New York Columbia University.
I said, you keep doing that, you're going to wind up having green babies or something. But he like, yo,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
You don't know how that's going to affect your DNA.
But see, it's interesting. Yeah, see, so I'm saying they're doing this kind of stuff, and so it's no big deal on the way they do this thing. You see. Now, y'all all right? A few other things we got to cover to put in the evidence. Somebody gave me this the last time I was here, but I want to put this in here, just to put it in here. You know, this is Africans. This is so-called Africans. But it's the only problem here is these are indigenous Iraqis. You right here? Iraq's African descent keeps traditions alive. Now all of a sudden, the New York Times breaks this story. The Washington Times break this story. Just in case the people go over to Iraq and they see niggas over there, they gotta break this story, and all of a sudden they become Afrocentric historians about how these people descended from Africa to Iraq. It's bullshit. These are the original Arabians. These are the original Arabians. You see what I'm saying? And they've been over there since the beginning of time. In all of that country. But this is in Iraq. You see, and they sequester these people, and they only show you the part of town that the white Arab don't allow these motherfuckers to go to. And there's thousands of them, but they are under segregation, so they're not allowed downtown, just like you wasn't allowed to go to some parts of downtown. And they sequester them and stuff. So when the black people get over there and they come back and say, I saw Negroes, they had to make an excuse for the shit. See what I'm saying? They had to make an excuse for it. And that's what this thing is about. You see, that's what this is about. These people are over there and stuff. These people don't know how the hell they got there because they ain't got there. They've been over there. You see, but they want to put this shit here to the people and try to explain away this thing. Y'all all right? Yeah. All right? Okay. Let's go on. Got a lot to cover. Let's see here. Got a lot to cover here. Let's see here. Let me get my damn notes so we can do some things. Because we got some things to line up some DNA. Some DNA with that mantra, that mantra there. It's called the Sri Yantra. Before I go ahead of myself, first thing here is the King Tut exhibit is coming. It's in Los. Is it already open yet? It's opening in June. Now there's a connection. Because if you get the book, Mustafa Kadala's book, the only historical person, this is the two books to get. This one came out in 1994. It used to be called The House of the Pharaohs. Now it's called Jesus in the House of the Pharaohs. The Essence and Revelation of the Historical Jesus by Amir Osman. This is the 1994 text. It has been renamed. It used to be called the House of the Pharaohs. Now it's called Jesus in the House of the Pharaohs. But Jesus in the House of the Pharaohs is King Tut. The only historical person that lived and was murdered was King Tut that fit the life of Jesus. The other one is called Tutankhamun, the Living Image of the Lord, by Mustafa Kadala. This is the earlier text, which is the bigger text, and this is the latest text, which reference this text. So historically, the person that grew up, well, let's tell you right here, the living house of the Lord is translated meaning King Tut's birth name. That's what it means, the living house of the Lord. King Tut's birth name. King Tut was called the spiritual son of God, the Messiah Christ, the meaning the anointed one who was the king. Historical evidence of the New Testament story of the birth and life and death of Jesus. Historically, slow down. Historically, there is no evidence in the New Testament story of the living birth and life and death of Jesus. Historically, there isn't an expansive evidence providing Jesus lived many centuries earlier. The history's greatest conspiracy in the cover-up to recreate a character of Jesus living in another place in another time. Examine the powerful evidence of archaeology of the Dead Sea Scroll, the Talmud, and the Bible itself, of the historical person and his teachings, and his life, death, and resurrection. So in so many words, the person that they're talking about historically that was in the house of the Lord, that was murdered in the house, was King Tut. Here's the definitive text on it that came out 11 years ago. This is the one that came out in 2003. So, the point I'm trying to make here is this. This person was murdered, but for some reason, he had a historical link of what the Egyptian would call a Christ figure. A figure is a person that's the embodiment of what, spiritually, on what would happen later on to the historical race in our souls, because our souls, the word soul in Christ is the same. Christos, Christ, is nothing but the transformation, alchemical transformation of the soul. So in so many words, whatever the deal here is when it came to King Tut, that image and that energy is setting up a gateway in a porthole, and it opens in Los Angeles in June. You see. And it's back on this soil in the West. So all of this stuff here is a connection, and it is only symbology. Don't look for some motherfucker out there, some mummy to rise up. It's symbology of the characteristics of the spiritual realm of some shit that's coming up out of you. So still, now this is interesting because you're going to have a lineup of Venus, Saturn, and Mercury. When is that lineup? You know, is that going on now?
Not yet. I think it's coming in the first part of August.
Yes, it's a lineup of Venus, Saturn, and Mercury. Venus is Isis, Saturn is Osiris, and Mercury is Tahuti. You see. And so all of this stuff is going down, and now they got that doggone sarcophagus on American soil. Now if you get a book called Tutankhamun Prophecies, in there the guy explains that the Ark of the Covenant that you are seeing in the Hebrew text, that when they have studied the sarcophagus of King Tut, it is literally a form of that spiritual vessel that they're talking about that the Hebrews had. It's the sarcophagus of King Tut, which is one of the few relics to survive. You see what I'm saying? The sarcophagus of King Tut. So this is very key. This is very key on how this particular thing is going down here that will be in this particular aspect of this coming in June. Now look at this. Do you know that look at this. This is interesting here. Everything is everything. Do you know that 9/11, see if I got this. This is some stuff. There's a book called The Goddess Book of Days by Diane Stein, S-T-E-I-N. We look up, and every day got a date to it. Let's look up September the 11th and let's see what it says here. 9/11, September 11th. And might I add that when that guy went on the rampage killing in Atlanta with the MK Ultra and the Demolition Man and Manchurian Candidate, that was 6/11. No, that was 3. No, what was it? 3/11. And you know that's the first intervals of 3, which leads to 9, the prime number. Not by mistake, when they're going to put the court system under lockdown. So 9/11, September the 11th. And it says September the 11th is the day of all queens of Egypt, who are also considered to be the goddesses. The Egyptian goddesses, the Queen Hathor, Bast, Nut, Mut, Sekhmet, Isis, Mayat, all of them. Roman Minerva, which is later on, that's Athena. All of them, just about every goddess in Egypt is on that particular date, 9/11. Very powerful day. You see what I'm saying? Very powerful. What's that, brother?
What was the name of that book?
This book is called the Goddess Book of Days. It's out of print by Diane Stein, but it gives you every day that the goddesses and stuff, every day of the goddesses and stuff. But like I said, that's 9/11. 9/11 happens to be that particular time. That particular time that they chose. They chose. Now let's see here. What time? You want to take the break?
Whenever you're ready,
You
bro.
want to take the break? Let's see right here when I get my notes together. What I want to do here. Okay, now one of the sisters, we're going to have a brother coming here by the name of Brother Kalindi. He wrote in the book African Presence in Early Asia. Brother Kalindi, he wrote that he's the one that wrote the African Origins of Martial Arts. So he's the guy that wrote in the book African Nerd by Ivan Van Sertima, African Presence in Asia. He is the one that wrote the African Origin of Martial Arts, Brother Kalindi. He will be here what date?
July 10th.
July 10th. And he's doing a lecture on accessing melanin through DMT. But he also talks about the sacred mushroom, which you go under. Now this is interesting here, because one of the sisters, when she went into the sacred mushroom, now try to understand this. The goddesses and all came to her. She went earlier and she said, Goddess Isis showed up. She said, well, I called on you before, and you never came. She said, well, I don't come under the name Isis. I'm Aset. I don't know who Isis is. This is what she said. They told her when she went under. Now, the sacred mushroom, one motherfucker went in, and the trees got after his ass. Was running that motherfucker all over. The trees got after him and was running him all over, and he was all scared. But come to find out that this guy, he cuts down trees for a living. And you want to see the trees? Go to the second. What's that? Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. And the trees got after him, but he cut down trees for a living. So Aset came. So she went in recently, and Aset and the goddesses came, and they said, look. And it's the same sister who does the stuff on the DNA, and so she went in, and they came and said, well, the DNA is changing, and the only real cure and therapy is urinopathy. Drinking your urine. Now, I'll explain this. Now, try to understand this. If the DNA is changing and there's new amino acids and all types of stuff like gammas, ojas, shaktas, russas, tamas, and all these things that is going on in the human body, a whole microscopic organism, and they're changing in the human body, that means that you, based on your consciousness, your urine has all of these particular microscopic extraterrestrial alchemical components. So it is the only stuff that is the real cure. Now this is interesting here, because remember what's the name went to Showtime and did his thing to your boy before he went crazy. Dave Chappelle. And he said this question: what about if Michael Jackson's sperm has the cure to cancer? Because say that boy is getting younger and younger, and he's supposed to have 2 weeks to die. But I think the crackers tell that motherfucker what to say. Because he also said that the crackers called Michael Jackson in the room and say, look, the Iraqi war is not going on like it's supposed to be. Anybody saw that special? Yeah. The Iraqi war is not going on. We got it on tape. We got everything on tape. The Iraqi war is not going on like it's supposed to be. And morale is low. You got to jack off another kid. Call Michael in the room. You thinking it's jokes. They tell them niggas what to say. They don't give them motherfuckers millions of dollars to say some shit. Then he said, what about if Michael Jackson's sperm has the cure to cancer? And you got to understand, sperm ain't nothing but blood. You see what I'm saying? So the point I'm trying to make here is, if you are changing into an unbreakable human being, you see, and when you get to the point where the doctor tell you shit is incurable, then what you gonna do? You see what I'm saying? You drink the urine. See what I'm saying? Look. I told you how the motherfucker bought me that big screen TV, and on a damn week, I start going blind, and I got 20/20 vision, and I said, motherfucker, y'all gods gotta help me on this shit here. And there was like, one of the goddesses came down in mine too and said, I'll help you. And then a day later she said, drink your woman's, no, not drink your woman's piss, she said, take your woman's urine and put it in your eyes. And I put that shit in my eyes, and about 3 hours later, that shit, I could see the fucking Peru. So I'm saying, if this stuff is going on inside your body, and they're talking about the microscope and new amino acids and stuff that's coming online, and they got to use to do this, it's in your urine. The urine is heavily melanated. It's in not the regular urine you got now that you done drunk some fucking goddamn Coke or Pepsi. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the one in the morning when you first get up, that's saturated, where all of the melanin and all that stuff is saturated. And you know, you don't drink it when you gotta pee, and you gotta catch the one in midstream, because the first part is got bacteria. So you pee a little bit and you catch the one in midstream. And that's how you gotta do it. That shit can cure anything on the planet. See what I'm saying? There's another cure and stuff, but there's another cure that cures everything. But you know, I'm giving you that one. That one will work for you too, because the other one y'all ain't gonna do it. What's that?
If we're mutating, that's the other one. Why do we want to stop it?
What's that?
If we're mutating, that's supposed to be a positive thing. Why do we need to stop it?
No, I'm not talking about stopping the mutation. I'm talking about for a while you're here, so you don't have no ailments. While you mutate, you can cure yourself. So I'm talking about cure you. You can cure certain things so you don't catch a little hell while your mutation process goes on. The mutation, you can't stop that. But I'm saying you can use these elixirs. Look, this shit is in text. There's a book called Women. There's a book called, let me see if y'all bear with me. This is some good shit. Let's see, he got a book here. This is one up here. There's a book by Wendy O'Flaherty. Let's see, do they have a bibliography in here? There's a book called Women, something in other mystical beasts. It's a book, but in the book they have studied all of the magical stuff that's supposed to be all this magical potions and shit, and it come down to being like water, blood, sperm, semen, and all that type of stuff. Most powerful is menstrual blood. Most powerful shit going. Got the lunar fluids. Is menstrual blood. That's the most powerful shit that can cure anything. You see what I'm saying? They can cure anything. It's the menstrual blood thing. But that is one of the keys. That is one of the keys that you can do. Another thing that opens up the pineal gland is get you some peppered horseradish. The real hot one. You know, you just take a little bit and put on your tongue. You don't need but a little. And this shit opens your head up. And then you can go into meditation, or you can get the drinking, or whatever you do. Get the fucking or whatever. For all types of things. But it's peppered, hot peppered horseradish. They got a Jewish brand, and they got a brand out of Wisconsin. But you see what I'm saying? But just try some hot peppered horseradish. Just take a little bit and take a little bit enough to put on your tongue or gauge it. One might say, okay, that's strong, but you want to get it so that it goes. You see what I'm saying? Open your ass up. And that's some shit that opens up the pineal gland. Hot peppered horseradish. You see what I'm saying? That's some stuff that you need. That's some stuff that you need to deal with some stuff. Now I want to play this for you to show you something. I want to play one aspect to show you what you're up against when it comes to white folks. See, white folks can go around the world and do what they want, and they're forgiven for it based on their religion and what they believe is God. They're forgiven for it. So they can kill who they want. That's why they said that when they said great day for freedom, but they didn't include your ass and you were still on.
That green plug that's hanging from over there?
Okay. Green plug, yeah, okay, yeah.
It reaches around. Not this one. It's another one on there, right?
No, it's a green plug and a black plug.
All right.
That's plug. No, don't put that's the camera.
I had another.
Let me do this then. Let me do
this.
All
right, go ahead.
Let me do this, and I can do it right here. Now this is why white folks. I'll do it over here because I got to turn this way. Y'all all right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is why white folks can do what they want to do to you, and you ain't picked it up yet. Rewind this shit. We're gonna document this. I think Phil Valentine talked about it one time, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Several times.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let them motherfucker. This guy is an expert on this because you just had Pope John Paul to die. You see, and then they picked this guy who's a Nazi youth. You ain't understand the plan. You got to go and study the history of the Third Reich. The Third Reich said that their plans was that we will build the Third Reich that will last for 1,000 years. And they had a plan for the future of this master race ruling for 1,000 years. Well, guess what? This shit came true because the people that they were saying was the master race was the Hitler's youth. And now the Hitler's youth is now Pope. Pope Benedict II, which, the 16th, which was the person that when they had all the sex crimes and the sex scandals, he was the one that that pardoned all the priests. You see what I'm saying? You know why they pardoned all the priests? Some of you all say, well, only God can pardon you from your crime. But you must understand why they got a whole hierarchy set up on the earth, and they can do what they want. You see what I'm saying? Because they got one person acting as God, because there ain't no God out here in the heavens. Y'all don't know that yet. Y'all are last to catch on. The gods in the heaven is like an hourglass. And you take an hourglass and what used to be up, and you turn it upside down, which is down, the gods now are you. All the streams of heavens in the past is now in you and in your DNA, and you the God, your soul is the God. But the cracker knew this shit years ago, and the Romans and stuff, and almost the ancient world knew the year gods. And so as a result, they said, well, shit, in that case, ain't shit up there, And we'll set up a motherfucker down here. And the only thing we got to do is to be forgiven for all our sins is to let the Pope forgive us. And that's why the Pope, John Paul, is the motherfuckers who try to smuggle Hitler and all them motherfuckers out. Mussolini and shit, they forgive them and shit because well, just listen to what they say so you'll understand. This is a good little shit to pick up good. So I want to play this for you. Let me fast forward this.
Has raised more than 600 for a win. Angels also come.
Give you a little special effects and shit. Okay, now ready?
Glad to be back, Carl.
This is a brother named Brother Andre. He's an expert on the papacy of a contest.
Brother Andre. Morning, Andre. Welcome back to the front page.
Good morning. Glad to be back, Carl.
Andre, first
y'all here?
Vatican City. What is the Vatican? How did the Vatican City become part of Rome, or is it part of Rome or part of Italy? What's the deal there?
Well, Vatican City is actually it's a sovereign and separate, independent nation set up in the earth plane today. The Vatican it pretty much gives the Pope immunity from any earthly tribunal, and this is according to their own decrees of the Council of Trent from 1545 was when the decrees of the Council of Trent were issued by the Vatican. I'd just like to read one paragraph from the decrees of the Council of Trent, if you don't mind. It reads, quote, "The Pope is immaculate, infallible, and irresponsible to any earthly tribunal or power. He is judge of all, can be judged by none, kings, priests, nor people. He is free from all laws, so that he cannot incur any sentence or penalty for any crime. He is all in all and above all, so that God and the Pope, the vicar of God, are but one. Wherefore the Pope hath power to abrogate laws, to dispense all things in regards to marriage, usury, divorce, homicide, perjury. He hath all power on earth, purgatory, heaven, and hell, to bind, loose, command, permit, dispense, do, and undo. Therefore, it is declared to stand upon necessity of salvation, that every human creature be subject to the Roman pontiff. All temporal power are his. The dominion, jurisdiction, and government of the whole earth is his divine right. All rulers of the earth are his subjects and must submit to him, to his infallibility in the spiritual order and absolute sovereignty in the temporal are synonymous and convertible terms. That's just a little bit of rhetoric from the decrees of the Council of Trent. So we can see here that the Pope basically has set himself up not as really as the vicar of God or representative of God on earth, but he has set himself up as God himself.
But wait a minute now. It sounds like he's the man next to God. Now, do the other countries have to abide by this? Do they have to respect this?
Well, every president since LBJ has had to go and have an audience with the Pope. And if you read your Bible, I believe in the 18th chapter of Revelations, the 17th and 18th chapters of Revelations, it talks about the great harlot committing fornication with the kings of the earth. You know, anytime, you know, when we think about fornication, Carl, we only think about it from a physical perspective. We only think about, you know, a man and a woman fornicating, you know, physically. But there's another level of fornication, it's spiritual. And anytime we put anything above our relationship with spirit within our own temples, within our own bodies, within our own conscience, within our own hearts and minds, anytime we put anything above that, then now we have just committed spiritual fornication. Because, you know, spirit is within us, and it seeks to be worshipped within us. But when we say that, you know, first I got to go to a pope, and then he has to pray to the Virgin Mary, and then she's going to ask Jesus or Yeshua to help me out, well, now you've just got yourself all kinds of middlemen, and it doesn't have to be that way.
Now, I got this motherfucker for sale for $30 damn. if you want this damn tape. You can contact me and get it. See what I'm saying? Nigga had to become an entrepreneur. See what I'm saying?
You don't have it today?
Nah, I have it. I'll give you my address. You contact me, phone number, and order this motherfucker. Because he go on and on and on with this shit. And in so many words, Africa and what he called the developing nations, other than third world, is the damn subject of this whole papacy, this Pope thing. And all this kind of shit. And it's some fucked up shit. But I'll just give you this particular part where the guy said that he is God on earth. So that's why if you see the movie, it's on Showtime now, called what's called Our Fathers. It's on Showtime, it's called For Our Fathers or something. It's about the whole sex scandal in the papacy. And the motherfuckers over here fucking people. And they had one lone priest that fucked about 70-something people. And anyway, the cardinal, they said the cardinal didn't set the guy down years when he screwed all these people. And they was messing with the cardinal. They're talking about he needed to resign. He flew over to Pope John Paul, and all Pope John Paul is stuck his goddamn hand out and he kissed his damn ring. And he said, now go back and run the shit. You forgiven. Because then people couldn't understand, but based on the Council of Trent, the God on earth for them was the Pope. And all the popes say you forgiven. You see how that shit goes? So that's the difference. You see, they set this shit up at the Council of Trent because the Romans knew that when they made this Christianity the world of state, it was all for world domination and control. But they said basically the white man is going to be in charge. And he's going to be God, but they say earth, heaven, purgatory, and hell. Now you heard it say right there at the Council of Trent. You see what I'm saying? So we got it's about an hour of it's about 90 minutes of all that shit. It's tons of stuff on that tape and stuff there, you see, if you want it. Now, moving right along, we're going to go to a break, then we're going to come back, we're going to get into some stuff, but before we do that, I want to go into some stuff that is going on right here. I got several things here that the Spirit gave me, and these things can help you. First of all, this is my new little pamphlet or book or whatever you want to call it. It's called The Mask of Darkness, a Cult History of Melanin. This is going for $5. It's like 10 pages for $5, and it goes into a lot of that shit I was talking about that stuff inside of you and dreams and all the shit is inside your body. It goes into this. So we got first come, first serve with this shit. Get this Cult History of Melanin. The next thing we have is this. This is the goddess Lakshmi. She is a returning aspect of Venus. Let me do this so you can put it on the tape, because they might can see you can zoom in, but we can put it on the tape. She is the returning aspect. She is the Mayat of return. She's the returning aspect of Venus. Y'all all right? Yeah. Well, hold on 1 minute. Yeah, there you go, man. You own it. Okay, you own it. Let me just do this right quick. We're gonna go to a thing, because we got a whole other slideshow and all that type of stuff. But we're gonna give you a few of these. Hold on 1 minute. Y'all all right? Yeah. Okay, I don't mean to tease or torment you, but let's see here. This particular, dealing with these things, I'm going to give you some of these, and we'll go back into it, but we're going to go on a break, but I want you to get access to this stuff that is going on right now. Okay, these things. This is the goddess Mayat. This is the Mayat of East India. And you say, well, why her? Why not the Mayat of what you call it? Because this is the motherfucker who showed up. That's how it goes. It's the spirit realm. What person showed up? Well, she was the one that the East Indians never stopped worshiping. See, when these spirits, when the priests break down, they have to go mob into people other systems of worship, because to call their name mean they live again. It was almost a damn 1,000 years that Kemetic stuff wasn't even worshipped. You see what I'm saying? Almost 1,000 years. So they have to go, or they have to remain in the existing aspect. Well, the people in India, you see, was never colonized till the late 1800s, and fortunately, the British was interested in the knowledge and learning when they colonized them. So they didn't destroy shit. Like the earlier cultures, like the Arabs did to Hemmitt and the other invasions. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, the Maya survived. Now this is the Lakshmi that you see over on the board, which is one that I had to get out of an artist rendering of the Museum of Galie in France. But I had to get this out of a satanic book, because he put this in there to explain some other demons or something coming out of India, but he put the goddess of Lakshmi in the actual book. So I had to go and get this one, because the modern day forms of Lakshmi, she's all dressed up and she's white looking. And the most voluptuous forms is the original forms, which is the black woman. Now, so I got this one, so it wasn't until I came in January and I was able to retrieve a book for about $200 and something to get the original one that is in the museum in France. In the museum in France. And you see what I'm saying? Now you know they have some hell of an artists that could produce a response. This is a 2,000-year-old or 3,000-year-old, maybe a 2,000-year-old statue that could reduce a response in a nigger's ass in 2005. You know what I'm saying? You look at that shit for hours. So we have these particular ones, and they produce energy. Now the thing about Lakshmi here is she is the god of prosperity, the goddess of prosperity. So as a result, to help the people along, she has an actual mantra. She has an actual mantra, affirmation that is set up, and you can recite them in apparatus. They say 7 times a day, but you can do it 1 in the morning and 1 at night, and put these statues, put this stuff up in your house, and prosperity will come. You just have to clean your house. The goddess Lakshmi, who is commonly known, the goddess Shri, who is commonly known as Lakshmi, has been known in Hindu tradition and pre-Buddhist time. She is one of the most popular goddesses in Hindu pantheon, and she is considered to be the body of mythology and widely worshipped in the Hindus in all the cities in India since the late period of CE, AD 400 or whatever the deal here is. And this is the point right here. A poor woman of the city of Puri cleaned her house. You got to clean your house. That's the key. You want the energy. She is the, you know that feng shui stuff? Well, she is the original feng shui goddess. So she cleaned her house one evening and used rice to paint sacred symbols on her doorstep, and lit incense and sticks in the house, and placed a lamp in her courtyard. Attracted by this, because she cleaned it real good, the goddess Lakshmi entered the woman's house, and in no time the woman's fortunes changed. Wealth poured in. How many motherfuckers got financial problems? See what I'm saying? Motherfucker calling my house right now. Wealth poured in. Wealth poured in. Now this is interesting here, because she showed up in October, but my queen, or my goddess, she said she used to visit one of the Hindu temples in D.C., and she said it was always fucking with that Lakshmi, and all them women always had money. Now, the god poured in. Her cows gave more milk than usual. Her fields yielded more crops, and there was food in the house, in her house, and no storage or clothes and no storage, clothes, and more money. And no shortage of clothes. I gotta slow down. No shortage of clothes, more money than she needed. But when she neglected the house and the symbols disappeared, and the threshold of the house was unclean, no lamps was lit, no incense was used. Lakshmi was ignored, and she left the house, and the woman fell into misfortune. Now, you clean your house. Now, there's some stuff you can get called creolin. That's CREOLIN. You get this shit and you put in lots of people got carpet. You got hardwood floors, it's better, but if you got carpet, You clean what is not carpeted, like the kitchen or the bathroom or whatever don't have carpet. You mop it up. And whatever is in your house is negative, got to get the fuck up out of there when this creolin hits. It's called creolin. So you can, a lot of old drugstores and stuff, if you still got them, sell it. But go to the internet, creolin, all-purpose cleanser. That's the shit that you use to get negative energy and shit up out your house. The other thing here, you clean your house and you put these statues up for her and you read this affirmation, one or the other. You see what I'm saying? And Lakshmi will come and some prosperity will go down. She working for me right now because y'all motherfuckers gonna come up and buy some of these goddamn pictures because a nigga needs your help. I'm the big stomach babies you see. If that motherfuckers need your help for a few short dollars a month, this motherfucker get food, some clean water, and some millet and some grain and some fufu or whatever, and shit like that. So, so now, moving right along. We also have, coming from the temple of Angkor Wat, which is the temple here, we have also, this is the temple of Angkor Wat. It's the same picture. This is the color part of it. Temple of Angkor Wat, 36 miles long, in Cambodia. And these are the Cambodians that they're talking about right here. Let me see if I got a picture of one of these Cambodians. These are the Cambodians that they're talking about right here. As you can see, this Cambodian that they're talking about here is a black woman with dreadlocks. You see what I'm saying? That's the Cambodian. That's at the temple of Angkor Wat. So we got a picture of Angkor Wat you can get. That's right here. The picture of Angkor, the temple is 37 miles long. At the temple of Angkor Wat is this picture of the black Buddha that we got on the wall. You can get this of the black Buddha that you can get. We also have the picture of the goddess Kali over there that you can also access. Of the goddess Kali, which Kali will protect you. Anything if you roll in with her energy. The next thing here is at that same Museum of Gamay that gave you the Lakshmi, there's this picture of the original Madonna and Child that we also have for sale. Now clearly this is a black woman with the dreadlocks or the locks, the hips. Now come on now. Come on now. That's a sister, and they done knocked the head off the baby, but that's the baby Horus. In this particular case, it's the baby Kama in India, the baby Buddha, and has all these particular symbologies of the Christ figure. But as you can see, that is a black woman, and they hid this shit because this is coming from Dravidian India. You see what I'm saying? All of this is in this particular temple and stuff like that. So we have these particular things for sale. We have these particular things for sale, and for $5. Now come up and help a nigga out. At least I'm trying to give your ass something. You see what I'm saying? No offense. But this is the goddess of love, which her energy is on. And so she told me yesterday, I said, well, I done got all the pictures. She said, I know goddamn well you ain't gonna get all that shit there and don't put me up here. So put me up here because it's interesting because I had a sunroom on my house, so the brother had his stuff in his storage. He got kicked out of his house and he came to my house, and he had his shit up there for 4 years in the shit, and we cleaned it out, and she came and said, now put me up in their room and shit, and then she came and said, I'm gonna give you some protection. She had me draw these. You me being an artist and all. And I said, can I give them out? She said, hell no, them was for you. That's your own personal shit. For protection and all types of things. But she said, so when I did this and stuff, I said, well, I can't give her out. She said, no, motherfucker, you can give me out and put me on this board and all, and they got a whole symbol to her and stuff. So we have that. We have that. Y'all all right? A few other things right here before we go to a break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to go into a lot of this. Go into a lot of this, and I talked about it. One I wanted to get, and let's see, one I wanted to get was this one. And we got the goddess Ganesha, we got the temples to talk about that. Is this Sri Yantra. This is the most ancient and the most powerful form of the symbol coming from Shri is also Lakshmi's yantra, the Shri chakra, the Shri yantra. But in here is stuff that lines up the DNA. And this is the right way, and it's got a, you can't really see it, but it's got an upside down triangle and a dot in the middle. That dot is also the G spot, which is the upside down triangle. This is the feminine aspect and the yantra, but this is interesting here. They got a temple in India, a temple on the island of Java called Borobudur, and they got a big statue of Buddha sitting on Borobudur. You see that in Africa and Asia, because they also got in there black people on the temple walls there with djembe drums and black people taking dope and blowing saxophones. So I went and got the damn book, and I'm looking, and it's got 100 panels. I just got to study this shit. But I did see some motherfuckers jamming up a storm on there with all kind of instruments that they didn't have in the ancient world. Motherfucker was getting down. Yeah, and so Buddha is sitting on top of one of these, but you can clearly see that Buddha is sitting on top of a spaceship. On top of a spaceship. Which means the Buddha is the spaceship. Which you are the Buddha. Because the Buddha is the Osiris. Then that is the Osiris. I just wanted to put this up here because the goddess Venus, you will see, is the goddess Lakshmi. Lakshmi and Venus is the same thing. Is the same thing as the goddess Lakshmi. You know, is this particular, the goddess Venus is Lakshmi. But you will see her in the Greek world as a woman standing on a seashell. Anybody ever see that picture of Venus de Milo? Well, isn't it interesting that last summer, the white people say, fuck it, we gonna show the real goddess Venus, and they got this sister here standing on the seashell as the same goddess Venus that you've seen in the white pictures. They got a sister here, which is a sister, yeah, you're damn right. She's in her 30s and shit like that, you know. And she's standing on the seashell also too. God, I should have printed some of these motherfuckers. But anyway, this is the one that's gonna bring you the money, one of the two. And so we have all these particular things that you can also get. So you can also get, as well as the book and all the other stuff. So if you're interested in all, and you can come up and you can also sign up for the reading. Now this reading, I did DC and Baltimore, and the shit is off the chain. Motherfuckers say, man, you read this shit to the T. Because these, you say, well, what's the difference between these readings and other readings? These readings not interested in your mundane life. It's not interested in whether Bill gonna leave you, you see what I'm saying, and all this kind of shit here. Well, you know, it ain't interested in that kind of shit, whether your waterhead baby, you see what I'm saying, is your real baby, and all kind of shit like that. And who your true baby daddy is and shit. It ain't interested in that. It's only interested in what God and goddess you are. In the incarnation of what God and goddess you are through the Hindu, the Egyptian, the Greek, the Roman, and the West African, and all that type of stuff. It's only interested in that. You see, and so therefore, that's the numerical shit coming off of an Egyptian cipher that came from the Moors in Spain and was left in the British Museum before it was translated by McGregor, Mathers, and Crawley. But at that time, the scholarship of the pantheons in Egyptology was young, so they had flaws. But where I come in is I'm doing the fucking channeling from this shit and the Egyptology, and I got 100 years of scholarship to do it, but also the spirit taps in. But I'm doing it, and as a result, you get a better reading. So now, we're going to go to a break, and you all come back, and we're going to go into this particular information for the people that's interested. Now, if people ain't interested in this shit, you can leave. If y'all some Sunday go to meeting Christians and you don't want this shit, you can at least put something in the damn bucket. Because the brother need help. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, yeah. Let's do this. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Okay, hold on 1 minute. Let me get straight. Let me get straight. Down here. We'll do that in a minute. Hold on 1 minute. Let me get the stuff right.
Lamar.
Now these things work.